Well, boys, I'm quite excited about this week's episode. I've never spoken with Calvin Kosovich before, and it was a treat. I think after this conversation, I feel like he's a friend, and I really enjoyed talking to him. So he's Kink's filmer from Perth, and he's Kink's filmer. He's a pro rider. He's a co-owner of a distribution, and overall just a very interesting human being. And the life that he's lived is definitely worth talking about. It's funny, before we did it, he's like, I don't know if I've got much to say. And then we talked for 3 hours with ease. It was a nice, flowy conversation. I enjoyed the shit out of it, and I think you might too. Something else that's been on my mind is I'm trying to brainstorm some merch. I want to make some t-shirts so that I can, I don't know why, but I want to. So if you have any ideas that you think would match the podcast, or something that you've been thinking about that you want to see on a shirt or a hat or something, DM me on the gram. Please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to Calvin's YouTube channel, and enjoy this week's episode of Kanode Knows featuring Calvin Kosovich. Here we go. Kanode Knows. Let's fucking go. We got Calvin Kosovich. I've been doing a lot of Australian accents on here, dude. Does that offend you when people do Australian accents?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not that many of us, so you might as well try and replicate us. Have you had Australians on? Have you had Pat on or anybody?
I've had Lou. I've not had Pat. He's on the short list to get on, and then I did your boy Big Salad.
There he is. He's the man.
I swear there's another one, but I don't know. Big Salad is the man.
Yeah, he's been in the game for a long time. He's like, yeah, he was traveling out to Perth when I was 16, 17, and he was filming us.
I just learned that. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I was doing my little research for you, and I was like, oh, shit. So that's how it started. You're working as a plumber or tradesman, and being a weekend warrior, you're pretty over it. And then you get introduced by Troy to the concept of filming video parts, and you're like, oh, shit, I love this.
That's how it started, dude. And now we are like, what? I don't even know how old I am anymore. 33. So, yeah, do the math on that. It's a long time.
Do the math. 18 years since filming with. Is that math? 17?
Yeah, it's probably like first time kind of filming a real clip, and that was like with Troy, and Alex Liv came into town, and Jamie Marry. He was like a Perth local, still ripping to this day. Like, you know, everybody still rides. It's just like, hit the trails or whatever. It's just cool to see people still doing it. But yeah, it's like 18 years ago. It's like,
it really is crazy. Like, I think about that sometimes. They're like, when did you start filming? I'm like, 2008. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that was like the best era too. Like, when we grew up in that, it's like, I don't know, just had like really good BMX videos around that time, like voices and like
voices.
And then it was like good skate videos too. Like 2010 comes around, it's like Stay Gold, and you're like, we're all doing Stay Gold. Like everybody, I feel like everybody was like, that was the film to it, like aspire to. And it doesn't matter, like the BMX or skate, like that was fucking sick, dude. That video.
Every once in a while, something like that comes along, and then it's like, okay, everybody's got to copy that. What do you think is like modern day version of the influential Stay Gold? Like, what video came out in the past couple of years that everybody's trying to emulate?
Shit. I don't know. That's a hard question, because I don't think I can be influenced as easy as I was back then. Because now I'm like, I've seen so much and like been involved with so much, and like I see things differently now. But back then, I saw someone using a VX 1000 and some film. I didn't even know that I was shooting film. I didn't know that back then, but it was magical. So I don't know if I can, like, the next generation has to answer that.
Yeah, right.
It's not for me. I already have my influential film, I think, like, you know, those. And then when it comes to like the BMX era, it was like the market deadline. That was when I was like, I'm in this shit too. And like, this is what you have to do. Like, these are the videos you have to make. And like, yeah, it's a hard one to actually think, like, what is the influential thing now? But it's for someone younger to like answer that, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. There's two things that make me that makes me want to talk about, is just like your like change over the years as far as, because I agree, when you're 16 something is so fucking magical and it just sticks in your brain forever, versus fast forward 10 years and it's just like it doesn't do it for me as much as it did. I still love it, but it's not like fucking life changing. And so your direction with your videography, at least, like from then till now, do you feel like you're locked into a certain, I wouldn't say you're locked into anything, but what do you like now? Like how would you describe your taste in?
I mean, as far as limited to just like what I use, like what's in my bag really. And like not limited, but like I've created a bag that I enjoy filming out of. Like, and the bag involves like a zoom camera now. And prior to that, I just had like DSLR / like the mirrorless cameras. So everything was on a gimbal and I didn't have zoom or like anything like that. So there's like films that I did without any zoom work. And that was like, one of them was Shimmer. If you watch Shimmer, there's no zoom work in that. And I had to had to pull myself back and be like, just stop with this too much aggressiveness of like the gimbal use and just go back to like enjoying standing back and just zooming and filming BMX from like just chilling. Like you have to do that. Like, and I think I like tried to get away from the zoom work and I was like straight back into it. Like now I love it more than my setup now is perfect because it's gimbal work with the fisheye, gimbal work on long stuff if I want to, and then a lot of it is just zooming, like just really fucking punched in. And like this camera that I have is just like, it's awesome. It's like a 4K. It has a bigger sensor.
Which camera is it?
It's a CX350 Panasonic. It's a real nice camera, and just because it has like a bigger sensor, your depth of field is great. Like when you punch in, it looks like you have like a cinema lens on or something, like on some of the shots, like, and it's really wide too. Like I can be like kind of in a crunched up spot and still manage to make the shot work.
What do you think it would be the equivalent to on a lens? Like what does it zoom out all the way to? 24?
24, yeah, I'd say 24, but even like you can see it. It starts to warp the shot a little bit, but it's really nice camera. It's so versatile and
and it gets the job done. Like that's, I think, I don't know. You can't say that there's a quintessential way to film BMX, but there kind of is. Like it's a zoom camcorder like this paired with a handheld fisheye. Like I don't think a gimbal is necessary, but it is nice. Like it's pretty cool. What about the upside down tripod? Were you doing that at all ever?
No, I never got into that. I didn't. I went from VX 2100s with the Mark II fisheye, I believe. Mark II, you know, the other one.
Yep.
And then from that, I went to HVX 200.
Yep.
With the shitty Opteca fisheye to start.
Yeah, that'll do it.
When I got enough money, I got the Century Extreme. So I wasn't on DSLR Canon cameras when a lot of people were back then, and flipping them upside down and stuff.
Right,
or even, I'm pretty sure. I feel like the United video back in the day. I feel like they were filming upside down with the HVX 200, possibly.
It was a European thing, dude. Like
it was, yeah.
That was the first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then you flip it in post. The clip is actually upside down because you're like,
I think to me, I was like, "Fuck!" Like I never really did, and understood that it actually does stabilize that camera really well. Because when you get a DSLR for the first time, it is horrid. It's so hard to work.
Truly.
Like, oh my god, it's so shaky. And you know, when the camera's like the HBX was like so wide, so it was like it was more long. The weight was just perfect. It didn't really rock too much.
Yeah.
But you know,
there's a feel, and it's all trying to emulate that original VX with a fisheye feel. I guess
exactly.
So the FX3 comes with a built-in handle like goes on hot shoe or whatever, and that feels good with this fisheye. I'm like, damn, I've only done one little BMX thing with this, but it's.
Have you got a Metabones adapter on that?
No, this is a. It's I had a Metabones for.
It's EF mount, all right?
Yeah, EF mount.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I got a roping on fisheye.
Nice.
But, yeah, I used to have the A7S2 Metabones because I already had Canon glass. This is real camera nerd shit, but
that's what happens. Yeah, you get stuck into one. You have to choose one. Whatever it may be. And for me, it's like Canon glass and a few Lumix lenses. But
if you could do anything differently, would you?
On the camera
over the course of like transitioning camera work and all that?
Probably not. I like. I rather enjoyed like the process of like learning things, like learning new ways of filming, understanding frame rates, understanding shutter speeds, understanding like that you don't need a zoom, and you can adapt. Like I can adapt like almost everything now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I just like spent time kind of figuring out, like it took me time to, especially the gimbal stuff. It's like, dude, that was a real hard learning curve for sure at the start there. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was on like a Red Bull trip with Garrett, and I was like the first time using it, I was like, fuck, man, I can't.
Pressure's on, dude. What
I was using it completely backwards and shit. Like I wasn't even, yeah, I could go into it, but like I was not using it correctly at all. I didn't know the settings, nothing. But it's a Sydney video, Red Bull, Garrett, fiending. You can watch it. It all turned out great, but first time really using it, and I was like, but I wouldn't change it, and I don't like getting stuck doing the same old like at all. So right now I'm like, okay, what have I done in BMX like as far as like filming styles or like uses of film? So like Super 8 came, and I was like, oh, I love that. Super 8's great. And then I got a couple of Bolex cameras. Now I'm shooting 16mm, and it's a little bit more fun and expensive and a little bit more challenging and all that. Like, but now I'm like, okay, like I don't want to go like too cinematic or anything like that. I like it raw but clean. So I'm like, I don't know what else I could add or change, but I feel like I've done certain steps when I could to adapt. I never use GoPros though, so maybe I'll use GoPros. Something, I don't know, just like have fun with it.
Yeah, I don't think they have. I don't know. They could have a place, but I don't see it. Like I think adding in the nice touch of the organic film is like as far as one should take it. But I mean, who's to say that? Like there's potential for any. Like you can make anything dope. I feel like GoPro is a risky one. GoPro, you try and it's like, oh, that's pretty fucking lame, or it's like that's genius, you know?
Yeah, it's GoPro, and then I mean, what other mediums can you use really for BMX? It's like we've already figured out the formula. There's a blueprint for us all, and we can watch these videos and be like, this is what works. This is what looks kind of strange, or this is unique to that filmer. And that's kind of hard to do, where you're like, this is my unique look, and some filmers, they really have that, and that's impressive to me. I'm like, Rich, like his style, he's unreal. Like he's an artist, we all say he's a real artist. Like he does it proper.
He's my great white whale. He's my white whale. I would love to talk to Rich, but I just get secondhand stories, and it's really fun. How would you describe Rich? Like, have you hung out with him?
I've met him like one time briefly, and that was at Vans Huntington Beach skate park. Maybe we've met twice, but very brief occasions. We work for like different sides of the continents and the worlds and stuff. He's in Europe and I'm out here, so he does a lot of the Vans stuff in Europe, and then I'll be doing the Vans US guys. So every now and again we cross paths. But yeah, Rich is a unique individual for sure, and the stories I've been told and all that stuff.
I love it.
Old stories and shit, but like that's the life of an artist. Like let them live. But I would love to. I was talking to my buddy back in Australia. I was like, dude, I want to do a video or something. Who's a fucking who are the riders? Who should I like go ahead, like trying to think of something. He's like, Rich. He's like, get Rich back. We need a Rich.
Yes, dude.
I was like,
100%.
I was like, that would be amazing, but I don't know if he would do it. Like, and he would be so shocked if I came at him and was like, hey, would you like to film a part? But you never know.
His writing, I feel like, might be slept on. Like his these days might. They obviously know his filmmaking, but they haven't seen those edits of the Dig video and his Welcome to Sabrosa video. It's just different. He's built different.
And like when those clips circulate the internet every few years, we all see it. It just blows up every time. They're all crazy. It's still crazy. It's iconic stuff. So
I think his biking, like, I don't know, there's certain types of riding where it's just like, that looks so good to anybody. Even if you don't know anything about BMX, you're like, wow, he rode his bike on that curved wall and then tapped the top of it with it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, the wall ride stuff is, I think, just absolutely mind-blowing to the average person too.
Yeah, it is. You're like, you fucking rode on the wall?
Yeah, and then also for the avid BMX rider, we're still mind blown by that stuff because of what he's doing it on and just the way he's doing it. So
Taking it to the next level. I want to know about the gimbal real quick. Tell me about what was the first gimbal and how did you mess up?
I got a gimbal gifted to me by Gion Tech. You know the company Gion?
Yeah. How do you spell it? J?
With a Z, but I believe it's pronounced Gion.
Zion Tech. John Tech. Yeah.
I don't. So this was. Yeah.
How'd you get gifted a gimbal? What did you do?
Through Frank from the marketing side of things. I don't know if Frank's still there, but
you can shout out Frank. Damn.
He blessed me with one. It was right before Christmas and said, just give us a shout out. I was like, cool. So that kind of started everything. I was like not forced into the position, but like had an opportunity to use the gimbal and stuff. And I was like, it was time. Daryl Taco was already using one pretty heavily with Kink stuff. And that was like motivating too, to see how that worked. And I think Ty Morrow actually bought one around the same time, like a DJI gimbal. These other guys had the best shit. I've never had the best shit. I get the bootleg stuff and I make it work. Like,
you get the G.
Yeah. And honestly, their stuff's great. Like, you know, I upgraded, and the next gimbal I bought from them, and it's a smaller version and all that. And it works great. It's awesome.
Nice.
It's tiny. But yeah, it kind of started with that, and it was a learning curve because I was like, I just have to adapt with the current climate a little bit. Like, and I was doing a job for Red Bull and stuff like that, and they were kind of requesting like a bit more of a cinematic look. And Red Bull's kind of, you know, they're a drink company, but they're actually a media company.
Yeah, they're a production house worldwide. It's crazy.
Look at it all, and they got rules and, you know, all this stuff. You know, so we had to shoot a little bit more depth of field, make it, you know, all this stuff. And Tony Ennis was his job originally, and he got me on, so it was both of us working together. So
nice.
Tony was on the HBX 170s and stuff, and then he bought Panasonic GH5, I believe, and then we just combined forces, and we're like, all right, cool, we can make this like cinematic and shoot some film and create a story. So that's where it started. And I was like, yeah, on that trip using the gimbal for the first time, and Ty was trying to tell me what to do before I left, but he knows everything because he studies the internet, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, just give it to me and I'll figure it out. Like, I can't, like, I don't know. I'm never, like, at school and stuff, I was just like, just let me get out there. There. I'll figure it out. So
learn by doing.
Yeah. So yeah, it took me a little bit, but yeah, sorry, Garrett. If you didn't know, I'd never used the gimbal.
I was freaking the fuck out. Was it a like double-handed one or a single-handed one?
At that point, I didn't have the actual handles, the double handles. I only had it. So I was operating it all wrong. It was kind of really hard to use.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I've used the gimbal for, like, I got mine right there, but I don't like. I prefer not using it. I don't know, like, who does it really well in BMX? Peter Adam, Christian, like a lot of people just kind of switch to it. But I think there's something about handheld that you get better angles than gimbal.
And that's what what happened was I drifted to the new gimbal that I have now, which is just a handle. It feels like everything is just like, it's right there, and
I've seen that.
It just moves with your movements, and you are just like one-handed, super low. It's way lighter. It works really well. It feels like you're back on the handle, because the handle it's shooting out the front, so it feels really good. But the double-handled stuff is kind of being a pain in the ass, like for skateboarding and stuff. You kind of like, you'd have to really use your upper body, whereas now I can just like throw my one arm, like, and it's changed to the look of the filming a little bit too. But
and it's just silly looking. Like I love Christian. Christian's like one of the best guys, but we love making fun of him just running with his fucking like
the Movi. I think he's got a Movi, I guess, for the Red, because the Red's so heavy. You need a gimbal that big for it, and that was just what was on the market at the time. I don't know what he's running right now, but if you're a Movi operator, that's like one job too. So like,
for real,
him knowing how to use that is like a day rate. I mean, like anywhere in LA or like whatever. And then secondary, he knows how to operate the Reds. Like that was a good thing at that time too. I'm sure that was getting him a lot of little extra jobs and stuff to know how to operate one of those.
Yeah.
Because that was like a big deal in like Hollywood and, you know, commercial work and stuff. It was like, you know how to operate a Movi, you know? So
You're hired.
You
Grand a
can
day.
laugh at it. You can laugh at it, but it was a good decision because.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. It's like it's both.
I could do it. Yeah,
Two things can be true. It's like you look silly, but good for you. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it's like I think having that gear in BMX doesn't make sense at all. And like I love that he did bring that to BMX because he showed that it was possible. And like, and then Daryl followed and got a red and stuff like that. And I was like, that's it is like something to aspire to. If you're in
100%.
Have a red or have like a high-end camera, but the reality of it is less is more, and you don't need a big camera, and you're already in the shit. You're in the streets. You're in hot zones. You don't want to be carrying expensive gear.
$50,000 worth of gear. Yeah.
Keep it cheap. Keep it fucking easy. Like quick setup, bang, in and out. Like that's one thing I've learned too, where it's like I have one camera that pulls out, the mic's already on, it's ready to go, bang, turn it on, maybe like adjust the colors. That's it. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
That's another piece I wanted to talk about I want to talk about audio and color. Audio. Yeah. What mic are you using?
So on the GH5S, which is like my fisheye camera, well, just like mirrorless camera. That's the Rode Pro mic.
Nice.
So those ones are great, and an Australian company. So I'm going to support.
With a little dead cat on it.
Yeah, a little dead cat on it, just to stop that like extra noise and interference. But every now and again, that mic cable, like I don't want to go into too much. People are going to get bored as hell, but that mic cable, it'll with the gimbal, it'll create a frequency within the audio. Yeah. So it's like a hum, and you can kill it with like a low pass, right? If you know about this shit.
Yes. Yeah. I'm loving this. Keep it going.
It's a pain in the ass, and every now and again, it just triggers. It's something like to do with the gimbal motors, and then interference of some sort, and I can never figure it out. But every now and again, it gets bad. I've had them replaced at Rode. There's like a dude that does it in like Redondo Beach. You send it in, and they'll replace the cables and stuff. And
in the mic wire, they replace the wire.
Yeah, they replaced the wire
in the gimbal. No, in the wire. That's crazy.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with those. Great mics, but every now and again I get that. And then on the Panasonic's CX350, I have a Sennheiser mini shotgun. So like the reason I have that, like straight up from John Miner, stole that shit from John Miner for sure. Sick. That was his setup, and I had that set up on my HPX 170.
I'm looking at it right now. Does it have like a built-in mount for the mic, or is it going on the shoe?
I have a mount on the right-hand side of that you just basically screw in to the side, and it's rubber, clips in, clips out. But I leave the mic on, and it's in my bag, ready to go. So
that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
And then the other piece is color. Like a real big dogs are shooting an S-Log, or I don't even know, for Canon C-Log. Panasonic is probably something different. And it's called shooting flat, so that you can capture maximum dynamic range. You get the data of the shadows and the highlights, and you can bring them back in post. Are you shooting flat?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great thing to do. So
you've had to learn color grading.
Yeah. I learned it. I learned it with like a really genius human. His name's Yasik, and he's based in Beverly Hills. And he color grades a lot of the van stuff, but he worked in fashion in the 70s and 80s as a photographer. Cool. And then he came out to like Beverly Hills. He lived in South Africa and Europe. He's been all over the place. And then he settled in Beverly Hills, and he has this studio in his home, and Justin Cosman uses him. So I've used him too.
Nice.
And this guy, when we were doing Illustrated, I sat in and watched him do all of it, and I just took it in.
Is he using DaVinci, or is it a separate program?
He was using SpeedGraph.
Yeah,
with that with the SpeedGraph like toggles and everything. So like you can like move your you can like keyframe and move things just like on a minuscule dial. Like
dude,
you change something so lightly, whereas you can't do that when you're at home on your desktop. You need and then it was that plus having color grade monitors, flat profiles, and like a certain like color profile. Like everything was, I just took it in. I took it in for, I think there was like 5 days of it. And I think I was driving to like Costa Mesa, and Cosman was in on the sessions, and I just sat and took it in. So that was
What
huge.
am I doing, dude? That's amazing.
Yeah. And like learning just about like dynamic range of different cameras and I didn't even know that when you're mixing footage, you can see the difference. It's so huge. A HBX 170 clip versus a FS, 500 or whatever. I don't even know what Cosmo was shooting on at the time, but just massive differences. And then trying to fix that footage or
huge challenge.
Yeah, huge challenges, and then going from shadows into like blown out highlights, like how to fix that dynamic change and like trying to like keyframe. He taught me so much stuff. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with him on that, and then since then I've used him for the Vans commercials and things that I've done, the bigger projects that have budget for color grading, because color grading is really expensive for people out there that don't know.
Yeah, how much?
A project basically starts around $1,000 to $1,500 a day for like somebody to sit in and like do color grading and keyframing and things like that to like if you need to mask things out or blur things or have things removed, like you have a shoe spinning and there's a bunch of wires around it, you got to get that keyframed out. So the keyframing is actually probably $2,000 a day. So
it's tedious as fuck, but now we got AI.
Yeah, now you have AI, but we'll see how it goes. I think it'll help immensely for the keyframing aspect of things. That's going to be life, because nobody wants to do it, even if it is $2,000 a day.
Yeah,
like, just it hurts. It hurts. So he's like, can you just change the color of whatever it may be, like the product? Can you just change? And you're like, fuck.
You understand that's 24 photos every second that I'm photoshopping for 60 seconds a minute for 20 minutes. Fuck you.
Yeah, there's like a scratch or something on the decal. Can you just like fix? How? I mean,
fix it in post.
How? But we don't have the budget for that. BMX we don't. But like, some corporate companies, if you're working for that, they'll have that, and that's awesome. They get what they want for sure. So,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, color grading is awesome, and I want everybody to know like they should be color grading their footage just to learn it. I think it's awesome, like super fun.
I think you might have just changed my mind back. I mean, I've always respected it, but in my day-to-day, like I'm churning and burning content for real estate, and it's just like talking head. So it's kind of like, dude, I don't, it's a waste. But if I'm gonna film BMX, maybe I'll go make a little HD piece and do it log and see what it looks like. It's so weird. It's hard to be decisive with what you want for colors. There's so many options out there. The opportunities are like limitless.
Yeah, and I think it just saves you. It just gives you another stop or two on dynamic. It's not baked in. You can work it a little bit. So just in case, but for the most part, these cameras are great and they do a good job. So
last camera nerd thing, does the CX350 have a built-in ND?
It does, and it's awesome. I love it.
That's very
cool. Love it, because I have to put NDs on the GH5S, and I'm like, I just love clicking them, like the 170 and so it's a great camera. It's got like auto tracking, things like that. And then it has image stabilizer, which is a little bit too much, I think, personally.
Why?
I would suggest to pull it back a little bit, or have 3 different settings of control.
Yeah, is it just on or off?
Panasonic to change it. They never will, but
they listen to this podcast, dude. Panasonic's a big fan.
Are they? I hope so. But anyway, it's almost too boaty. It'll just pull a frame real quick like that out of nowhere.
That's not good.
When you have vertical lines and you're trying to pull across, and like horizontal lines, it's using those as like measurement for like the stabilization. And what happens is I might be standing up a little higher, so like now those like vertical
lines are different,
a little bit, but that's actually level. That is it throws it off, and it just does these like real aggressive.
What an interesting problem.
Yeah, so I turn it off. I have to turn it on and off depending on how I'm filming the clip and the run-in and whatever.
Huh. That's great. If you can turn off stabilization and still get the clip and make it well, that's fucking props to you, dude. That's amazing.
I mean, it looks fine. Like obviously stabilization is great when you're really punched in on something, like really zoomed in, but for the most part you can get away with it. But Yeah,
Stabilization makes me think of YouTube when they introduced that setting. When you upload a video, you can do stabilize. I think the Deadline video on YouTube has that. So it's
I was
just
gonna
whoop,
say
whoop,
that.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah,
It's fucking,
absolutely butchered the film. So
yeah,
sorry, Tony.
it's so crazy.
YouTube owes him a friggin' debt. They pay
For real.
money.
So there was a good transition maybe a couple minutes ago to go into commercial work outside of BMX. Like,
Yeah.
I think if people want to know your story, they might already, but you should listen to your Unclicked. You should listen to your Feeble Talk, dude. Shout out Kramus. That shit was cool. That was fun to watch.
That's an old one. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. But I
look completely different.
Respect the show back then. Not respect. I didn't appreciate it for what it was. Like, that's a well-produced, like, prepared show. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, they were doing it properly, and that was at the studios in Carlsbad, the ride headquarters. So they had like a space, and I think maybe the skate guys were using it as well at the time. But
because it was through Transworld, right? It was from Ride BMX. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And yeah, they had everything there. They had they had it all. Skate park in the back. It's a shame, man.
Kramus is good at this, dude. Like, Kramus should be, interviewing people more often. He, like, every question, like, you would be saying something, and then Kramus hit me with the next question that I was thinking. And I was like, all right,
he's good at it. He's very in tune with what's going on in BMX, and like even outside of his circle of like, his crew, he knows what's going on, and he just loves it. You can tell, like, he's fucking still in the trenches filming fish lines like crazy. Like, he's working way harder than I am. I can tell you that. Like, I know like, I see him out there and he's just going, and I'm like, fucking legend. Like,
super dedicated. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Big shout out to Kramus. He's definitely a legend.
He's got like workload with Odyssey and Sunday. That's a big team, and there's a lot of travel and stuff. So,
did you watch that Taiwan one that came out today?
Did it come out today?
Yeah.
Damn, I haven't watched it.
It's great, dude. Brett Silva's a boss. The locals in Taiwan are fire. And the music choices was very Taiwan. I was like, I'm here for this. It was very nice.
Who was in the video? How many riders were in there?
I don't know, 5 or 6.
Yeah. It's a decent crew.
Brett, Jake Seeley, Eric Elstrin, Julian. Nice. Dude, Julian does a feeble 360 that was to die for.
Really?
Taiwan, Odyssey.
Legend.
Yeah, dude. They're some of my favorite bikers.
Yeah. We got some talent out there.
It just came out today. Whatever. Go watch the new Sunday thing. Dude, I literally just watched it. I'm going to look at my history maybe. Oh, it's called Handsome. That's dope.
Handsome. Nice.
Yeah.
Like
10 hours ago, it's got 5,000 views already. That's good numbers for YouTube these days, man. It's crazy getting views on YouTube. All right, so I digress. What was your first? You came over and started filming BMX thanks to J Row and Kink, and you had an athlete visa. And you were living. Was Corey Bowen the first place that you lived when you were at home?
I was living with Bowen. So Kink was basically reached out and was like, yeah, like, you want to ride for us? And I was like, maybe, because I was riding for the set.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it went down. It was kind of like, I don't know, I can't leave this relationship, and I had things in the works with the set and with Mark over there, and we had like CADs drawn up for frames and shit at that point.
Real quick, tell me about the set. Who's Mark? I don't know much about the set. I know Mark, it's an Australian company.
Yeah, Mark Ulich. He's was the owner. So the brand is dissolved, but he was the owner of the set and Strictly BMX, and he basically like gave it a fucking hell of a run. Like, he wanted to create a brand that was going to, compete with Colony in Australia, that was going to kind of like be a little bit more like, I don't know. He had his version of what he wanted, and he went for it. He had Corey Bowen, Kim Grosser, Brad Sims. That was the
fucking legends. Yeah, that's a good squad.
And paying him straight off the bat with no product. Dude's a beast for that.
He invested. Yeah.
He had a couple of $100,000 and he was paying these guys straight away. And we didn't have product for a year and a half until maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Just maybe some soft goods and stuff like that, and some stems and sprockets, simple things. But he was running this whole company just out of his back pocket from what he earned from Strictly BMX, which was at the time one of the biggest mail orders in the world. It was Empire and Strictly and Dan's. So that business was chugging along, and he had extra money. They had a distribution running out of there too, which was doing Colt and other brands, but they were they were the monster. They were the Lux BMX. You know, that's Lux is like the big one now. You know,
right? Yeah.
in a sense, but yeah, in Australia. But
so shout out the Set. You moved
yeah.
here, and no, I wanted to know real quick before we get to your commercial work. J
Yeah.
Rowe found you. How did he find you?
He got Mark Ulich fucking went to Vegas and he handed out DVDs from Still Bleeding Black and Blue, the video that we made. Yeah. And they went to the hotel and I guess they watched it, and then
Jay, and they're like, we want that one.
Yeah, Mark shot himself in the foot, and then
then
that conversation happened, and I was an email, and I said I'm just gonna hold off. I believe I was like gonna hold off and like figure out, you know, if I want to do anything. And I held off for like a few months, and then spoke to Mark and said I'm going to go ride for Kink, and they're going to help me get a visa as well, because I requested that. I was like, if you can help me get away from this life, plumbing shit.
Yeah. How old were you when you moved here?
I was like 23.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Yeah, so you were. I know you were like 4 or 5 years deep in trade school / practicing plumbing, actually working.
It's been 10 years, and
you still got it.
10 years, and I finally got this, dude.
Oh shit! Cool. So what does that mean?
I'm a resident now, so it's a green card. Yeah.
Nice.
It said a guide for new immigrants. So there we go.
Welcome, dog.
Yeah, that's why I got the LA hat for the first time. I would never wear one unless I was a resident. So Andrew got it for me. Well, he didn't get it for me. He's like, "You want this hat?" I was like, "Yeah, I can."
What is green card means? Like you're a resident. Yeah. That means you're an official citizen, right?
Yeah, I can like join the military and police force. Yeah, do all that stuff. Can't vote. Only citizens can vote, but after 5 years, I can apply for citizenship. That just shows like good standing that I've been here. Can't commit any crimes or anything like that. If I have anything on my name, I can't apply for citizenship. So
too late, bro. You've already trespassed and broken property.
I think it's felonies, I believe. But yeah. It's crazy. So, it's been
that's interesting. Time. That's a interesting story of getting noticed and then getting hooked up. And at that point, getting the visa, it's not like you were just immediately pro, right? You were just like get on the flow team and then.
I was the AM team. So
nice.
I was part of the AM program, and that was awesome. Like I was on the AM program at the Set too. I hadn't turned pro for the Set or anything.
Yeah.
It was like in the works for the next year or whatever, and we had a frame potentially coming out, things like that. It's pretty cool, like to think about, like almost happened, but
yeah, for real.
Came out here, and it's like, all right, you know, it's America. It's fucking small. You're this huge pond. You're a small fish now. Like,
yeah,
you don't even understand. Like stepping out here after being in, like, I skipped like the East Coast of Australia kind of thing. There was really amazing riding happening over there. And I was like, fuck it. I could have gone to Melbourne. I probably should have, and just spent time there and like hung out with like Cooper Brownlee and like the Focal Point guys and all that.
Yeah.
Or even like going up to like Brisbane or you know, at the time Sydney wasn't really doing that much. But for whatever reason, I was like dedicated to just like move to California. I think like Bowen and Biz and all those guys kind of were influencing me at the time. Like, and Bowen
like
was
the natural state or the path.
Yeah.
You know?
And Bowen was like, I got a room here you can rent, you know, straight away. So
nice.
It was kind of like everything lined up, and then got out there.
Can I ask about the financial burden of moving here? Like, did you have savings, and what was the flight? Like, what was your rent?
I spent $60,000 in the first year.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't got that return yet. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, I have, but it's crazy. So the first year I came out, and because I was plumbing full time before, and I had money. I had money for deposit for a home, you know, at that time, to be like, all right, I'm just going to live out my life in Perth and have a truck and car, wife, kids. It was at that point where I was like, I have to make a decision now.
Right.
And I decided to go the fuck it path. Like,
yes, dude.
Go out there.
Yeah.
And the first year, like, I couldn't work or really do anything for the first year or so. It was like trying to get a social security, trying to like, I had to only work. I could only make money from Kink. I could only make money from Vans, and then nobody's paying me anyway. So I'm like,
shit.
Legally, I can't work. I can't just get a job like an American, you know, regular person. So I'm abiding by the rules and just burning cash. And I'm like, fuck, this isn't going to work out. So a year goes by, and I'm like ready to pack it up. I'm like, go out to Joshua Tree. I'm like, this is the last time I'm going to see Joshua Tree, you know, fucking
Yeah.
bitch. Like, I was done. I was like, I have to leave. And I just had a really good time out there, and I came back, and then Jerry Batters was like, we're doing illustrated. You're in. We're going to pay you. We're going to get you in the film. I was like, it changed everything. So like that.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got really lucky. Timing was everything, but I blew through like 50 to 60 grand.
That's so much. I've never had 50 grand in savings, dude.
Well, that's
amazing.
just what it costs to live in California a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't being.
That's
shy.
nothing. Like California, you can easily spend 100 grand a year.
And the first year, I was like, so you know, I've got bills, I'm paying rent, I have everything like a normal person, but I can't work. I'm not allowed to make money. So I'm like, right, how do I do it? And I'm like just going through my money, and I'm living with Bowen. So me and Bowen are like going to Hollywood, fucking hanging out with, you know, like all these people. You're spending money. And what are you gonna say? No, like no.
Yeah.
Like I'm always a person who's like, I don't have that much in the account right now, but I'm still gonna buy you a beer. You know, and that's how it was for a long time. Now it's like money's there. I'm good now, but like, yeah, I'll still buy you that beer. I'm not gonna be cheap ever. Like I was always like that. So I don't know. It was a bad decision for sure, but I was young and I earned that money, you know.
Yeah.
I earned that shit. And I was like kind of putting it to rest. I was like, I'll go get more. And another thing that happened, I got flown back to Perth from a building company to spend 1 month fixing a big job. It was like 4 townhouses or 5 townhouses. And the current plumber just couldn't keep up with the workload. So they flew me back. I was there for 6 weeks, and I came back and I made $15,000 just plumbing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that set me back in, and then we're doing illustrated and shit's happening. So yeah.
Can I ask what kind of numbers so that's crazy that you moved here, you couldn't get a job, you're just living off savings, and then boom. Yeah, like I picture you at Joshua Tree just kind of sad.
It was kind of sad. And it was like I drove from Joshua Tree straight to like the Vans Street Invitational, probably the first one. And I just like showed up, and I was just like, I was speaking to Crandall. I remember Crandall gave me like a postcard, and it was like kind of, you know, he's like coffee guy, like the drawing. And I traded him for like a few pieces of gold that I found like out panning and shit. Like, cause I was like, I'm a fucking strange person. I'll go out and like pan gold and stuff. Like,
that's interesting.
Into it, but I traded him a few pieces for it. I don't know if he remembers it, but on the back of this card, it still says it says like for gold or whatever. So that kind of made my day. I was like, fuck, I really like this shit. And all these people are so cool. I'm like, yeah.
You're in it. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of felt like I was in it.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
So what was your official title with Illustrated, and how did that work? Like, was it, hey, here's a salary for the year, or here's a budget, and here's what you get to keep?
Jerry was just paying me monthly or whatever at the time. And I was basically, so what happened, I was there to help film and ride, you know, be a part of the project as like maybe a flow part or, you know, whatever. Not a flow part, sorry, like a mix part, something. Just get some footage for it, because everybody on the team at that time were like super stoked on me and like wanted me to be around and, you know, hang out. And what happened was a few of the riders at the time like got injured, and there was just a space like open, and I was just working my ass off, and Cosmin kind of just like, he was like, you're going to be the rail guy for this video, you're going to take that spot. So I got lucky, but I was out there and I was working for it too. Like, whether I knew what was gonna actually happen at the end, and I think that's kind of, this is a super special thing for me for sure, being a part of that project and not really having a real role, but Jerry just having my back, and Cosmin, and like, it was cool. So
I've never met Jerry, but I know Cosmin, and he's like the best as far as like, you're with me now, you know, I got you. Like, Cosmin's the shit.
He is. I've been speaking to him lately, just like I spoke to him today actually, but I always try to get advice from him no matter whatever is going on. Camera gear, financial, just shit talk, whatever. But like, he knows everything. Like, you spoke with him. You understand how much knowledge he has. And like, even today he told me, he's like, I felt like I didn't know what to do. Like, in so many times in my life, like I didn't know what the next step was. But all I had to do was just spend the time to like read, find and you figure it out every time. And I'm like, because I'm like, you know, trying to do other things and move in this direction or whatever. I'm like, dude, I just feel like I can't do that. Like, I don't know if I can do it. He's like a really good motivational speaker. This guy, he's like, he knows everything, and it's he really like helps me. He's always helped me here and said, like, once you leave, you don't come back. You don't come back, you know, and that's real. Yep. It is. It's really hard. You have the energy when you're young, so it is hard to come back. And I've had close calls for sure with COVID and things like that, you know. So
tell me about that, because I think I don't know if well, first of all, shout out Cosman, fucking mentor.
One of the best.
I wonder if he's just always been a fucking mentor type dude. Like, it's hard to picture Cosman young and not knowing shit, but he's got whatever it is, like that entrepreneur.
Intelligent. He's intelligent, man.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah,
good role model.
Yeah, and he's really creative. He's got an eye for it all. So
I guess we'll get to COVID later. Let's stay in the first couple of years of being here. And like, what was your first non-BMX job? So it seems like you made enough like off of BMX to keep the ball rolling for a bit. And your Vans Illustrated, like Kink. Yeah. I imagine Kink Welcome to Pro around that same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Around the same
just
time.
Getting known, building your skills. What, like, I don't know why, but in my head I picture you're like on Hollywood sets and shit, but I don't know if that's even the case.
No, definitely not. But I have been on Hollywood sets for sure, but it's not like something that happens every day. I did a commercial as an actor in a mini commercial for like the car company. So that was fun as hell. Like, and they pay you so much money to do nothing. Like I literally like I was like holding the steering wheel, and I like had to turn Spotify on, and I had like a mic on, and they gave me an Apple Watch, and then I had a girl in the car with me, and she was meant to be my girlfriend, and we were arguing. Like,
rough life.
Did that. Yeah, it was a 3-day shoot. Went to like different locations, Warner Brothers. Went up to like Lake Erie, I believe it's called. Not Lake Erie, one of the lakes up there. But and we're just doing cool little shoots and stuff with massive production. And I was like, this is cool. So,
like 50 plus maybe 100 people type thing.
Yeah. You have a lot, and you check in and all that stuff. It's unbelievable. But yeah,
it makes me think, have you ever dealt with somebody who like wants you to make some videos for them, and then they have no concept of like how much actually goes into they send you a full-blown commercial that airs on TV, and they're like, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, if I have a team of 20 people and like a budget.
The realistic expectations, it's really hard for a lot of people to understand, but I don't get into that position really, because I don't like search for it, or like people just like see me as like the BMX filmer guy, you know. There's cool BMX videos and like occasional commercials, or like, you know, for Vans or whatever. But when it comes to like real deal production and stuff, like you need a team. It's not just one person. Like I would just be a director or maybe a camera op, you know.
Right.
If someone was coming to me, I'd be directing the shoot for them, and creating a storyboard and giving them like creative direction and stuff. But
I just remember it blew my mind when I first learned, like, oh, there's like 20 people with a very specific job for each little thing. And they're all unionized, and it's a whole thing. I kind of learned to not worry about charging a little bit more than I was comfortable charging. I had to push through that.
Because I mean, you know, as a BMX filmer, you have to do everything. So it's like they're getting a great deal on us, whether they, you know, I mean, surely they know it. I hope they do, but they're getting a great deal on us. We're very talented people. We can do a lot with a little, and I love that about BMX filmers. And like, I try and like merge that into, you know, if I have an idea for something that's not BMX, you know, whatever, it's like I can make it happen. You know, I can make it happen.
Bootstrap it.
Do I have to make it happen because the budget's low? Not really, but I'll do it just because I want to do it, you know, like, or whatever. But yeah, some expectations cannot be met just with budget. Everything comes down to, you start with, what's your budget? Just remember, that's where you start. Then for us, we can work with a budget that's 20 grand or 2 grand because we're talented as fuck about making it work. But they don't know that. Don't tell them that.
Oh, never.
No. So
I'm curious about that acting gig. How did you get that? Or do you got headshots out there? You go to auditions and
I
shit?
got an agent, you know.
Let's
like
go.
So that Tony Nair actually got me onto this person years ago, and it was for like more BMX related. So it was like sports agent in a sense. And
is it Ranky or something? The guy
no,
that
not Runky. Runky was looking after me actually at some time, but I did sign with his sports agency at one point, and we didn't really get anything going. There was no point because it's just like BMX, just like it would have to be for like more. If anything big came out of nowhere, then he would take over. But we didn't get anything going. I think we had like a weed company like trying to offer me like $500 for a post, and I was like, fuck.
Nah.
This is so stupid. But this was more for commercials and acting, not about your income as an athlete or whatever, like, you know, endorsements. So I went with this company. They're called KMR. They're out of Burbank, and there was a few other BMXers that I knew that were with this lady Heidi. And give you all the information if you want to go reach out.
Heidi, dude.
Just go do it. Just go do it. Go to Burbank, get an agent, give it a try, because you don't know where it's going to end.
For real,
it could end up anywhere. So went to a few auditions and stuff, and it was awkward, and I fucking hated it. And I went to the last audition, and they said, "Oh, this isn't BMX. This is just you. Like, we kind of like your headshot." And I was like, "Oh," because all the other ones were BMX, right? And you had these BMX riders that, let's be honest, they're fucking nerds, dude. Like,
yeah,
like fuck out of here. Like, you're not even like, they were so fake. They just had a bike.
Yeah.
And I'm like fucking coming back from like, my hands are fucked from like, you know, sliding down Hollywood High. Like, for real. I'm like really in this shit. Couldn't get a BMX gig. Couldn't. It's like, fucking hell. So this last audition, they're like, it's not BMX. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. And I go in there, and with this paired up with this girl, and she's like, "Oh, this is my first time," and I'm like, "No, I've been to a few of these, and like, don't worry, like it's chill. Like, no, it's awkward, but it's chill. Like, there's just people standing behind a camera telling you to do something." So they requested us to like have a song to dance to, and we just danced to a song. Got the job next day. So.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and it was like it was a good role. It was 3 days of shooting and a buyout and stuff for like, you know, for my face. And
what's a buyout?
It's a fee. They call it a buyout, so it's not a royalty. So some commercials are like royalties get paid per view as that commercial rolls out internationally, and your agent will deal with all that. But a buyout is just like a one-time buyout. So
it's like a gamble. They're like, this might blow up, and we want to get it for cheap. But if it doesn't blow up, it's a good deal for you.
And I think it's industry standard now that buyouts are just like the new thing. It's just like buy you out and move on, you know. So there's no recurring payments and stuff to all these influencers and whoever, you know. So got a buyout, got some day race. This was 2019, maybe. So nice. Yeah. It was a little while ago, but I didn't pursue any of that stuff really. After that, and the pandemic happened. So
yeah,
I don't think I did. I don't think it was me not pursuing it. I think the pandemic kind of happened.
Yeah, the whole worldwide lockdown thing might have.
Yeah, and then I got older, so I lost my youth. You know, so like that's
my precious youth.
Yeah, so I look at it like that. It wasn't my fault. It's not like I wasn't trying.
Yeah. Over the years, I've noticed that you dress well, especially when you're in front of the camera on your bike. Where does that come from?
I think it comes from like music, rock and roll, or like anybody who's like in the light that just, you know, they're like, fucking look cool, look good, you know. And if you leave the house looking good and you like, I like this fit, I like these shoes too, you're gonna ride way better. Like, definitely, like, you're gonna feel better and you're gonna ride better. And then also you put the pressure on yourself to get a clip too. You're like, oh, I film something.
I think I totally agree, but it like took me years to get past whatever block I had. Like I just had homies who would just like make fun of me if I did anything like different.
Dude, I had the same problem with YouTube. I wish I fucking started it earlier.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. Now I see how this shit works. I'm like, God damn, I'm an idiot. I was too cool for school.
Exactly, dude. I was too cool for it too. And everybody was. And there was like 5-10 people who were like, fuck it, let's do it. And then
but I'll tell you right now, like all the people who made it in YouTube and that, props to them. Like honestly, props to them. But at the same time, you were nerds. You were still fucking nerds. That's why, like, if there was a cool person doing it, I would have probably been like, you can do it. There's a way to do it.
Right.
Like that's what it was. Now there's cool ass motherfucking people doing influencing and all that shit, and they have good taste and style. Like,
Yeah.
but at the start, it was really corny. Like,
it truly was
hard. But dude, honestly, I love that those guys made money, and it's sick. Like, props to them. But at the end of the day, it was hard for me to like be like, I want to do that too, or like I would love to try that and see what it's about. It was like I wouldn't touch that with like a 10-foot pole, you know? And now I'm like, oh, I fucking wish I did. So yeah, we have regrets. We all do. So
it makes me really like almost on the lookout of like what the next thing is. Like
I know.
As, you know, cringy stuff. I kind of cringed at starting this podcast like 4 years ago, but
no, I think
I still don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Podcast is great. I think it's a great way to like actually get to know someone, talk to someone for a bit. Like, I don't know, like, on top of that, it is revenue too, you know, for monetization. It's a job, you know, and people are interested around the world just to hear certain people or writers or whatever your platform is, you know, whoever you're hosting. Like, I think it's honorable, like, to do it. But yeah, not everybody needs to do it. Just the people who are really passionate about it and actually want to do it. Because
if you would do it for free, then you should do it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you can set it up and you want to get guests and you want to talk to this person and you spend like $1,500 to get the mics, get the gear and all that stuff, like you're down. Like, you really want to make something happen. But if it's for money, like you see like influencers just like, I'm just going to start a podcast. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, for real.
Famous. Like, you can't just, I like people who just like, they're just, here I am, I'm just doing a podcast right now. Like, and I have something to say and I have great people to talk to. I think, you got to do it in the right taste for sure.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten to talk to my heroes, bro. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised who's willing to talk to some of the coolest motherfuckers. And you're like, damn, I never thought that would have happened. And you meet these people and you're like, they're awesome. It's just, they're amazing BMX riders. And you realize it's just regular people, you know?
Exactly. Like I still have it in my head for at least with a couple of people. I'm like too nervous to even ask, which is like kind of silly, but it's a mental block. But I'm curious about, like, cause you're doing YouTube now, and I'm curious about like maybe who or what prompted you to do it. But we'll get back to that after I take this dog out. She's gonna shit in the house. I can
I'll take a break too, so you can do a little cut. Easy.
We'll get back after these messages from the sponsors. Oh, hey, I just wanted to pop in here and let you know that this episode is brought to you by Burn Slow. Go to burnslow.co. Get yourself the classic logo tee in purple. It's probably my favorite one right now. It's printed on Comfort Colors, which is like the best blank for t-shirts, and it's a very cool logo. The world's on fire, which is pretty accurate. And I got no promo code for you yet, maybe, but Adam is a great human being. Burn Slow is a cool company owned by only BMX riders, and it's worth supporting. I don't know if you checked out the episode with Adam, but the story behind the company is really cool, and it's like he's running it like a non-profit and paying riders well when it comes to creating the content to help market it. So if Burn Slow is tight, go support it, and thank you for sponsoring the show, Burn Slow. burnslow.co. Man, are you ever just like riding your bike and then something breaks and you're like, I could use a online store to purchase something for myself? Well, I have something for you. It's called dancecomp.com. If you go to dancecomp.com right now and use promo code Kanode, you're going to save 15%, and that's massive savings. 15%. Go get yourself some new handlebars. Go support your favorite brand and support me. The more that you guys use that code, the better it looks for this podcast, and then I feel like we're more of a legit show because, you know, I don't know. That's fuck. That's got to be good, right? Okay, dancecomp.com, promo code Kanode. Appreciate it. This episode is brought to you by Unity Ride Shop. Located on 43rd Avenue in Bethany Home in Phoenix, Arizona, Unity is the shop holding it down for Phoenix right now. And I mean, it's been a couple of years actually, but it's a very, very cool shop with a stock that makes other BMX shops look bad. They have a lot of stuff in stock. The shop is hosting jams, sponsoring local riders, doing the most, and it's all out of the love of the game. I mean, if you've been listening to the show, you know BMX is not very profitable business model, so it's really nice to have something like that, and you can't take it for granted. So if you're in Phoenix and you need some stuff for your bike, go to unityrideshop.com or just stop in. It's on the southwest corner of 43rd Avenue in Bethany Home. Yeah, go get your bike worked on. Go buy some stuff. I was just in there with Zach Beerley the other day, and we got a new chain and some da-da-da. I got some skateboard wheels. It's all around. They got skateboard stuff, too, and scooter stuff, and finger bikes, and finger skateboards. It's very cool. Shout out Randy. Shout out Unity Ride Shop. Thank you for supporting the show, and you guys should go support them, especially if you're in Phoenix. If you're not in Phoenix, I don't blame you if you don't go. But anyway, back to the show. And we're back, but I forgot what we were talking about.
Well, yeah, we were just chatting away. We just had a quick break, but
yeah, but I said we'll be right back with this answer, and I forget.
Yeah, I got on my phone, started going on Instagram and bloody YouTube and shit.
I'm just fried from being in BMX for this long.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what happens. Like, especially when you're just talking. You can't come back to conversation sometimes. You just got to go on to the next thing. Yeah.
This is practicing grace and moving forward.
Yeah.
Speaking of grace, you do some really heavy shit, like you do bangers. What is your mindset when you're about to send something that's very dangerous?
I mean, it's like everything is like slowly. Everything that I ever did was gradual to that point. So it's about confidence, really, and getting to that point where you're comfortable on your bike. Sometimes you're not, and you just have to send things. You might not have done it for a while, but bike control and years on the bike and things like that, understanding like mind over matter kind of thing is super powerful, because your body is really like, it's really well developed. If you've been on a bike for like over 10 years, you know, you're like pretty on top of what you can and can't do, and how to fall out of something and know when it's going wrong, or any of those, you know, scenarios. So that's
not so much like risk taking at that point. When you know what you can do, it's just like lock in and do the thing. Yeah,
because like, you know, now I'll look back on some things and be like, fuck, that was a bit stupid, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit hairy. Yeah,
but at the time it wasn't. It was like I was so confident, and I had people say it's not possible or something, and you already knew it was done in your head for the most part, you know. And that's like super powerful. And I think like having that experience like is really good in just life now. Like, you know, day to day is like, it's not that bad. Trying to do tricks on your bike, that was way harder and way scarier and way more risk and all that shit. But yeah, it's
harder than most other things that I've encountered in life. Like people, you know, like you hang out with somebody who's like never done, sounds pompous, but you hang out with somebody who's never done what we've done or been through. Like, I'm not comparing myself to you as far as riding goes, but like,
same
concept. Yeah.
You go out, film a trick,
it's crazy. They get scared over very small shit, and I'm like, dude, what? It's crazy to think about.
Yeah. It's just, and like, I think when you have people in your life, like I have like, you know, Andrew and, you know, Dakota. I have all these great people in my life in LA that were riders and still are riders, but like having a bond of like, we've been through something like very unique and like challenging, and that is like such a crucial thing for me, like to have like good friendships as well. In a sense, it's not just BMX, but like people who have like done some shit that's like really challenging, or like push your limits, or you've moved to another country even, or whatever. You've done something that is out of the norm. You've left the house, you know. That to me is like, I respect a lot of people like who have done things like that. So
you hear people talk about comfort zones, and growth happens outside of your comfort zone, and it's cool to hear. Like, you, dude, moving from Australia to California at what you say, 23 or something. That's big. That's a huge thing. So after that, everything is like, what have I got to lose? You know?
Yeah, kind of. It was like, make it work. Try and make it work, because you've already done this much. But it was definitely, at the time, wasn't bad. I was young, you know, and like obviously my family's still in Perth and all that. So like I would be going to Australia on riding trips at least like once or twice a year.
Nice. How long is that flight?
To Melbourne, it's or like
16?
Melbourne or Sydney is like 15, 16 hours from LAX. And then I have another layover. I have a layover to get to Perth, and then Perth is about 5 hours.
That's a journey.
It's 24 hours door to door. That's what I always said. Door to door, 24 hours. So I would do that journey twice a year. And then COVID happened and it just rinsed me. Like I couldn't see family, couldn't do anything. My dad was just in town last week. I hadn't seen him in 5 years. So
wow.
Yeah. Nuts.
Damn.
Yeah. It's the first time he was able to travel out after all that. And yeah.
I remember we brushed on this earlier. You mentioned COVID and I wanted to ask you like what it was like for you. Sounds no bueno.
It was a shitty one for everybody, I'm sure, but we all have our own individual experience from that era of life. And for me, I was like with the visas and all that stuff, I had to leave the United States to renew my visa. And that's just mandatory. You have to leave. So when I was going through a renewal stage, this is 2021, early 2021, January, February, and we're a year, or not even a year into the real pandemic of the lockdowns and the rules and all this stuff. So I couldn't go to Australia because Australia was completely locked down.
Super locked down, yeah.
Yeah, and it was going to cost me $10,000 to get there and 28 days in quarantine, 14 days in
what
one
the
state,
fuck, dude,
and then 14 more days in Perth when I got there. So, and I couldn't even get on like a reparation flight or whatever the fuck they were calling them back then. I can't even remember. I couldn't even book one. I tried to. I was on the list and everything. And as soon as it came out, like Qantas was like, we have flights for Australian citizens. Bang, I fucking go to book one, like to just lock one in just in case. And these are like $4,000, $3,500. Gone already, all booked out. So They weren't even allowing enough flights for Australian citizens. They were making us pay double the amount of the airfare. Then they were making us pay $3,000 for 14 days quarantine. And then I would have to pay another $3,000 for 14 days quarantine. So the Australian government to me now is I have a bad taste. Like
objectively, that's not even like an opinion thing. That is like a cash grab, a power grab. That's terrible.
And at the time I had a friend in Germany. So I went to Germany and did my visa and all that stuff. And around the same time, he was telling me his grandmother's getting sick and he's Australian citizen, lives out there, works for Propane Mountain Bikes, German company. And she passes away. He can't even go. You can't even go to Australia. You can't even get. I had friends in one state in New South Wales. They couldn't go to Victoria just to go to a funeral. They were live streaming their funerals. It was
what the fuck is the logic? You know,
it was horrible.
Pretty frustrating.
So that and then the Australian police over enforcing and arresting people. I was keeping up to date with it, and when I was in the US, I felt free, like 100%. I don't know how you felt, but I still felt like I had my freedom and I could drive and ride my bike and still film and do all these things. And the traffic was minimum in LA. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was low-key good for BMX.
Great for what we were doing. And like those businesses closed down, like, well, you can actually hit this spot for the first time ever.
Yes.
And around that time, me and Ty were working on a Claw video, which was the last one he put out. I can't remember if it had a name or anything. It just might have been Ty. But we were working on that the whole time. So we were moving around the city real easy and getting tricks. And that was great. But I had to leave. And then it took 9 months before I could get, I left the country and it took 9 months to get my visa by going into the embassy and getting my passport back. So I was out of America for 9 months working, still riding like with Kink and stuff. I was going to Barcelona and seeing Jay. Like I was living in Europe illegally because it's only 90 days. I got an extension and then I was just like, fuck it. I'm just running it. They don't have any checks or like it's not as you think. So if you want to stay a little longer, just make sure
you could probably get away with it.
You can get away with it. I left France and I had the immigration officer looking at my passport and they just didn't put the fucking numbers together. They didn't care and they just stamped me out. I was like, yes.
Ooh, that's talk about heart racing, dude. I'd be like, fuck.
But at the same time, so this apartment that I'm in now, I kept for that whole time. So I was paying rent and bills and everything here, but I was Airbnb-ing this out month to month to people to keep it alive.
Yeah, good for you.
It was nuts, and that was like 2021, mid 2021. I got back like I left in January or something. I got back in like September or October or something. It was like 9 months.
So, what a fucking headache you had to go through, dude. The timing of like having to renew your visa and then being in California nonetheless was like hard, but then also being from Australia, whereas like the only place that was harder than California during that shit, you know?
Dude, it was a tough one. And then getting back and then everything changed because the Kink role came in as video director. Daryl stepped down and I stepped in. So January 1st, I was doing that. So I stepped into like a more of a video director role, writing aside. That was like, for me, it's like, if I get a clip, cool, but I'm not worried about that. I love what I'm doing now. And yeah, that changed everything. So I got back, like I went through the bullshit and it did end up helping where I'm at now and stuff. I'm glad I stuck through it because I could have just gone home and like back to Oz and just probably never returned.
And just
a lot of things
find a gal.
And you know, as far as for what I've done now, I'd probably be plumbing again and stuff though.
Man, your life is a movie, dude. Your life is a movie. It's crazy.
It's not. I mean, I've been doing a little bit of plumbing here and there in LA because Andrew Castaneda, he does like high-end clients, you know, for like, but he's not a handyman. He's like a glorified, like he's real deal. He's working with celebrities and shit. So every now and again, he'll get me to come out and do some plumbing and that. And you meet these really cool people that you've seen growing up and shit. You're like, damn.
And you're like, can I fix your sink, Mr. Reeves? You know, hanging out with Keanu.
Just doing stupid stuff like that. But I enjoy it. I still like to use my hands in that. And yeah, I mean, yeah. So crazy time.
Absolutely crazy.
Through it, so.
Fuck, I got 3 questions I want to ask. One is like, tell me more about being in Barcelona and J-Row. Mm-hmm. The other one is, what celebrities have you met doing plumbing with Andrew?
I'm not going to.
You can't do it. Yeah, no, NDA. All right, fuck them.
No, out of respect for Andrew too, and yeah,
absolutely. I didn't know that about Andrew. That's cool.
Yeah, you can speculate. That's all you can do.
Yeah, we'll never know.
But
so yeah, let's talk about your time during COVID in Barcelona with. Shout out the Cut. Right?
Yeah, the Cut. That all started around that era too. It was like the best time, like because kind of filtered things out and like made things possible too. It's like, you know, it's a bad time, but like a great time to just fucking start something, you know. And I think Jay and Pato, like they teamed up together and started the Cut. So like I think I'm probably wrong. 2021, I believe they opened the doors because I remember going there and I was like, there's a fucking shop. Jay owns a shop with like Pato's running it. You know, Jay's running it. Like it's like this is crazy. Filled with like, you know, kink gear at the start, I guess. Like, you know, that's how it works. You get that first order, and now you got
my shop.
United. Like they got everybody in there. But that was a really interesting. Barcelona was fucking different. I had to get a PCR test to travel in. Spanish.
That's the nose one, right?
Yeah, so that was the one like they really grinded it back in your nose. It's horrible. $150, by the way. We'll get into it later, but once I got the first one, I never paid for another one after that because I'm fucking good at Photoshop.
Nice.
If people want to talk, you can talk shit on me for doing it, but like,
nah, fuck
be honest, man. Like this shit was a joke. Like it was over the top, and like, if I felt good and I wasn't sick, and like we were always getting tests, and I had rapid tests and stuff all the time. So paying the $150 for a PCR test for a flight attendant to look at, you're not a doctor. Nah. You don't know any. Like next, like if it was more official, there were just people literally standing there like to see your digital or a printed out piece of paper. It was, you already know. Anyway, Barcelona was fucking different because of the curfew. They had a 9 p.m. curfew, or it might have been 8 p.m. So at night, like, have you been to Barcelona before?
Yeah, I actually have. Yeah.
And it's at night. The nightlife's great. It's so fun. The streets are loud. Things are going on. It's like, I'm telling you, dude, it was dead quiet. Not a soul on the street. It was weird. And like, it was enforced too. So like, if you saw the police, or like I don't know what they call them. They have like two police forces. One's Spanish and one's Catalonian. So they have two different ones because Spain is like, that's the country technically, but then they have like a state. The state, I don't know. It's weird over there. That's why they're always fighting and having protests. So if you saw one, you had to rip out of there if it was after 9 p.m. And I was hanging out.
Were you filming after 9?
No, we weren't filming, but we were just hanging out, like bullshitting, and like drinking and stuff. And like, I was like hanging out with AG at the time. So AG's like, he's like running it out there. Like, he's got his hand in everything. He's like getting rooms rented. He's fucking doing. He's got it all sorted. So like, we're just drinking, hanging out. He's got like this scheme going on or whatever. We're all chatting, and then bang, fucking police, getting chased around the city. It's dead quiet, by the way. It's like, I didn't know where the hell I was going. I didn't get in any trouble, by the way. I'm just saying this is how it was and how it felt. But it was strange. It was like seeing Barcelona just turned off. It was weird. Turned off. And I don't know. Those experiences, I don't think they'll ever happen again, you know? And
tell me more about the chase. What the fuck? You just said that you got chased?
It's fine because we were on BMX bikes. So we weren't even...
And they're on foot or what?
No, they're in cars, but it's like tight streets. You know how they're all super
tight? Yeah, dude. Your fucking life is a movie, man. What the fuck?
You can bop and weave. But if you're with AG, you're good. He'll get you into a fucking house that is somebody else's house, and they just broke in and moved in. Now you're living in it. You know, there's people living in it for free. They call them they have a name for it. Like it's nuts. Anyway.
They pronounce the S is weird, so it's squatters.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll have the squatters, and then he just always had a place to sneak in and get away from shit or like whatever. But that was a fun ass time, and AG is like one of the realest dudes ever. I think one of the most amazing BMX riders, best style.
Honestly,
raw,
such a good style. Yeah,
just no fucks given. He'll throw down if a motherfucker steps to one of his boys. He is real, and he's humble as fuck. So. Yeah,
that's good to hear because I'm a big fan of his riding. I just never even been around him, but that's really cool to hear.
He's lucrative.
Riding even better.
Yeah, he's lucrative and hard to get a hold of. But every time I go to Barcelona, I make sure I see him, hang out with him, and go for a ride, and I push him to keep coming out with us. Like, come out. You know, but he's his own boss, man. He's doing his own shit, and he's unique, and that's why people like his riding because he is just so magical, you know, in a sense. So, and that's how he is in life. But yeah, that era was crazy. COVID, man.
What crazy era here in Arizona. Like since I wasn't working for a company, I didn't get forced to get the vax or anything, and I was just still freelance. And like the guys I was working for were like, "Fuck that, we're still gonna do whatever." And so like there was no like it was the initial lockdown was still pretty scary. I remember being so fucking scared. I don't think I might have been living with my parents, and I was like terrified of like killing my dad, you know. It was
that too, because you know, people who were older or had health conditions, that was the scariest part, really. You know, if you're young and youthful, it's like seemed like fighting
I'm
chance.
Fine, but I'm so scared I'm gonna kill you, Dad. And he was like, shut the fuck up, Robert. And I was like, okay.
No, I mean, I'm sure like the boomers, they don't give a fuck. They're like,
and it's scary because you don't know in the moment, but then looking back on it now, I'm like, thank God my parents were just like against it and didn't give a shit. I was like, cool. That's
because they're still living their life, you know, and you don't want, especially when you're older, you don't want to lose 2 years of your life.
Yeah, honestly.
You only got so much time, you know, and it was tough to see what was going on, and I
honestly think the lockdowns caused more damage than they did help. Like in hindsight, I think you can objectively say that.
I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything, but like, you know, they just held off herd immunity, basically.
Right.
They held it off, and it was going to happen anyway, with or without a vaccine. And some countries just let it ride, and they got through it quick. And then some countries dragged it out by 2 years, and then opened up borders and opened up travel. And
but
then
the ones that dragged it out made trillions of dollars.
Yes, exactly. So you look back on it, you're like, who won here? We all suffered for somebody's win, you know?
Yeah. Albert Bula. I
Yeah,
think is his name.
just naming names. We'll
No,
figure it out.
whatever though. That'll maybe that
We need,
name
we need some
triggering
more
the YouTube algorithm.
investigations, internal investigations on the governments and shit. We need that.
Oh yeah, big time, dude.
Crack down on them. Crack down on these. They're all scammers, dude. The real people who run these countries are people like me and you. I wouldn't say we could do it, but the hardworking average class. They have the best ideas and they have the drive. Politicians have always been crooks. They've always been liars. They have to lie their way to get there. So why would you ever trust them?
Honestly,
I will never vote.
Have you ever looked into all the shit the CIA has done over the years?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's pretty crazy, dude.
It's a great story. And then when you realize, you're like, they were funding this war and allowing this man to sell these drugs. You're like,
yes,
holy shit.
Not only allowing, assisting, and then taking that money to fund more CIA operations. Yeah. It's like,
it's a dude in a Hawaiian shirt coming up to you and saying, I got a deal of a lifetime for you. Just do this and we'll make your life the best.
Yep. That sounds like Narcos right there.
What would you do?
Honestly, yeah. It's everybody wants to moral grandstand and say, you know, if I was in Nazi Germany, I would have stood up and said, no, I'm not going with this. But if you just look at COVID, like if you were fucking snitching on people for not being vaccinated, you are the Nazi. Like it's hindsight. It's fucking
exactly. It's like
that's a judge of character.
You think you can stand up, but when the walls have ears and eyes, you can't say shit. You know, like everybody's trying. It's weird. You see it with cancel culture too. People just don't want to get canceled so bad that they won't even voice themselves anymore.
They censor themselves. Yeah, they don't even have to be censored. It's like
speak freely. It's okay. Like even if you have an idea that's stupid or crazy or fucking dumb or like or to offend somebody, at least have the conversation to get your mind changed. You know, at least and that's open conversation is great. And that's the only thing that changes minds and helps people grow. You know, because we'll pull our friends out. We'll pull our friends up on shit. And you let them know, like, hey, you can't be saying that shit. Like, think about it for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, oh yeah, you're right. It's fucked up. So
if there's like a really good reason not to, but yeah.
I
think I mean maybe less. I don't care if we talk about politics, but like I think free speech we take for granted. We take for granted that in America, like there is an amendment to the Constitution of the country that says you can say whatever as long as it doesn't incite fucking there's a fire in a movie theater, but free speech is dope. And you do take because it's not in the laws of other countries. So right now in the UK, they're arresting people for Facebook posts that stimulate anti-immigration hate. And it's just like, bruh.
You need to have like the government has to have a sense of like it does have to have control of the people, and they can do that by manipulating us without us actually knowing. And that's great to do that. But also you need to allow the people to still think that they have freedom, right? That's the key.
The illusion of freedom. That's interesting, Calvin.
No, that's what it is. And like you can think you're free, but you're not. You know, you can buy a property tomorrow, own it in cash. You're still paying property tax.
You still don't own it. Yeah.
You never own anything. You never really have anything. You're always in debt to something or someone. And it's like, that's the system. But like, at least give us our speech. And that's what America does great. I love that. I love that they like Americans stand up for things like, you know, gun rights and shit. I don't care what side you're on. Just stand up for it. I fucking love it. Yep. That's iconic because in Australia, we didn't have anybody stand up. They just handed shit over and we just give up. We just say, oh, it's too hard.
They're like, you're right. Guns are dangerous. Here you go. And then fucking now the government has everything.
Exactly. And it's like, well, you can't defeat the US government with fucking handguns and assault rifles anyway. So it's not, that's not the thing is where it's like, we need to be able to be armed ourselves against the government and shit. Well, in this day and age, it doesn't work. Maybe 150 years ago, fuck yeah, that worked. So like the argument is like,
it's an interesting one. I'm really torn on it because I've heard this side where it's just like they have drones and they can blow you the fuck up. But I think it like at least slows it down a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm torn on that one. I've heard really solid arguments for both of it, and it's just like it is to protect yourself against tyranny.
Yeah, you don't want it to be your own government, but if another country was to come here, you want to be well equipped, and I think a lot of us citizens would agree on that. You want to be equipped for something that happened here, but we won't get into politics too much. I enjoy American politics, but the one thing that I will bring up, the mail-in voting stuff that happened in 2020. So I'm not an American citizen and I don't have voting rights. When the mail-in voting happened, I got ballots, random name, never seen before, sent to my home. I didn't open it because it's a federal offense. But apparently Kanye West was in there as vice president on that ballot, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll say right now, I have never seen that mail before from that person. It was addressed to my address with everything identical. And I've also had it for local state recently, the same name randomly. So
yeah, I'm sure everything is perfectly above board, and that's a great way to run elections.
It's weird. It's weird to me. Like, why?
It's a little bit sus, dude. Yeah. Not a little bit. It's very sus, and it's like concerning for. They keep saying like he's a threat to democracy. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing with the election? Paper ballots and one-day voting would be ideal, like the rest of the world.
You need to prove your identity, and you need to go into an establishment, and you need to vote fucking correctly.
No, dude. Voter ID is racist, bro. You don't know that?
I didn't know that, but this is America. It's a melting pot of every single culture from every single country, man. Like this is a different place, and like
cuckoo world.
Yeah, it's awesome though. It gives people opportunity, a different life, a different way. It frees a lot of people from bad countries and war torn.
Mm-hmm.
America does a lot, and it does a lot of bad and it does a lot of good, and take it however you want. But
for all her flaws, dude, I've grown to love America. The idea of it and the fact that it keeps getting better, not so much. It's not like it keeps getting better, but like we're chasing an ideal as America, which is fucking great. Because otherwise, what do you just have no hope and you're under a totalitarian government. Yeah. One thing that's still in my head from the gun thing was just I had the thought recently where I was just like, okay, what happens if the power goes out and then it's chaos and everybody's for themselves? I don't have anything, so I was like, I'm gonna go get me one of them.
Yeah, and likewise for me too. I'm in the position now as a resident. I can purchase a weapon, legally and go through the permits and all the fun background checks and stuff. I haven't made a decision on whether I want to do that or not just yet, but I think in the future with a bit more responsibility or like whatever happens, right now I don't need anything like that, but if I have a family or something, I don't know, just protection. This place is crazy. I've lived and seen what happens here, and things happen fast, and God forbid anybody has to ever use self-defense.
Honestly, I hate it. I don't like that I have it, but I think it's smart to have.
That's the scary thought, is like if you have that and you're in a situation, you have to use it, and that's for me is hard to stomach. I grew up with like my grandfather and my dad showing me how to use guns out in the in the bush. We'd go camping, we'd shoot targets, and like that is what I see a weapon as, that and hunting. But in America, it's protection. That is fucking strange to me. Yeah, that's scary to me, because that means I have to use that in a potential protection situation. Like that's self-defense. I don't know. It's just not.
It's crazy.
Something I have to think about for sure.
Why did I just think like there's no guns in Australia? Like how is there only like hunting rifles? Like was it already illegal?
Certain class weapons, and you have to have farmland or property to acquire, and then on top of that, a gun range if you're a club and stuff. But every year it gets harder and harder, and my dad was actually saying that his weapons he's probably going to hand them in this year.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's just getting harder. He has to prove more and more. He's had these weapons since he was, in his 20s. He's had it for his whole life and part of the family. And it's not like you can debolt them or like cut the pins and stuff and keep them as like family heirlooms or anything. You just got to hand them in. They crush them. They give you a rebate and they crush them. So. So America, you should be proud that you still have some guns. Australia, honestly, it's tough.
And I don't know if I'm just like reciting a meme, but I think in most countries where gun control is, like the guns are taken away and then totalitarianism comes. It's just like not that far away. I could be, there's probably examples of that not happening, but it's not. Everything's not as ideal as you think it is when you're younger. Because I might have had a real problem with what you're saying fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And when governments slowly take your rights away, you don't really see it, and then eventually it's going to come to a
very slowly and then all at once. You know?
Yeah, everybody will realize everything all at once, and it's a slow process, but yeah, it's a strange one.
Dude, it's so sick to talk to you, man. I remember we met at the Wedge. I think that might have been the first time we ever met. But
yeah, on the Kink Sessions tour. Right?
Yeah, tell me about the Kink Sessions tour. That's a cool segue.
That was a great trip.
Second Amendment to Kink Sessions.
So yeah, Sessions tour. I thought we were going to do another one this year, but we skipped it because I thought maybe we were going to do an East Coast one. The 2023 one was Vegas, Arizona, California. I think that was it. So yeah, so there was like 6 different stops. Super fun. I think it's like really good for the community and stuff to like come hang out and see these pros and like just be involved with their local shop and skate park, because some of them at skate parks, some are at shops, the stops.
Which one was the Wedge through? Because you guys did it at the Wedge. Was that through a certain? Was that Unity?
I don't know if it was like connected to a store, but we had you guys like getting I don't know if it was ramps, but there was like rails and stuff, like you guys with stuff. But and it was just cool to see what's happening too, like on a like ground level, like who's doing what, like who's the new riders, like kind of like seeing. I think for Jay, especially as a team manager, like it's like kind of crucial for his job, like to see the new talent who's coming up. And I got to tell Jay at that shop stop that Zach Beerley is the man and that you should hook him up. Yeah. So
who did you notice anybody on that? I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you, but did you notice anybody on that tour that people don't know about yet that we should know about?
Good question. Who was like ripping? Oh, actually, yeah, fucking Adler. You know that kid?
Adler. Where's he from? Here?
No, Arizona.
Texas.
But where's the South part? What's the South part? From
Tucson.
Kid's good.
I feel like
you know why I know his name? It's because like it's like his name's like Eagle in German. Sick.
Adler Cromer.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he rides premises all the time. Yep. Shout out God and Jesus. Adler. He puts, Psalms 113 in his captions, dude. I love it.
He's young. He's young and he's got the influence of the parents and all that stuff. But hey, BMX will break you one day. He'll become one of us.
Shout out Adler. Cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was going super high, ripping, just good attitude, super cheeky, giving us shit. I was like, you would fit in, and pretty sure Jay sent him a bike. So
hell yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that's my job. That's what I saw, and I kind of was stoked on his energy and stuff. But
and there's something about like being able to ride a park like that and then turn into a street rider, like your friend Callan.
Yeah.
Dude, I learned that today when I was like listening to old shit with you, talking about Callan being like from a town over, and he rode the park that was like all transition, then come hang out with you guys, and you're like, you could do street stuff, and then he's just the fucking craziest street rider ever.
Now look at this guy, dude. It's insane. Like looking back on that, I'm like so sick that he like came out and like just wanted to like film some street shit. Like I'm pretty sure the first clip we ever filmed, he like just rips through and just tail whips like it's like a 10 stair or 8 stair. Yeah, he just had it like that. He had it to like
a tail whip.
Had it like, and I was like, all right, like he can do anything on a bike. And then once he put pegs on, it was over. He just shut it down.
What is it like filming with him? I think you've talked about this on other podcasts, but
yeah, it's awesome. He's knows what he's gonna do. He's so talented that you'd never question or stress him trying something, even though it's absurd or crazy. You just know he's got it. Like,
were you there? Yeah, you were there for the big rail.
Yeah, that one
is absurd.
That one was as close as I got to being a little stressed out, but I also know how talented he is, and the things that I would think about, and like Jake at the time. So Jake Corliss was there shooting photos, and he was like, he came from Oz and stayed at my apartment. So it was like Callan and Jake. Me and Jake was speaking like aside, and we're like, fuck, man, this is dangerous.
Is it possible?
Like, and then it was like, but it was also like, fuck, we want to see it get done, like for sure. And we knew, like, we just have to like go there. Like we'd seen it. He called it out. He saw someone go down on like a fucking a cooler, lid, you know.
What?
Yeah, he's seen it on like Instagram. So he's like, where are these stairs? And like, I think he already had it mapped out. He figured it out. And I was like, oh, Redondo. Okay, let's go look at it. It was insane. The pylons, the wooden pylons on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
That's death, man. Like, for real.
For real.
There
Did he do anything to like slow down? I know I'm sorry, I don't know if you're repeating yourself, but like, did he like take wax off the rail so that it slows him down?
No, he wrote, it's like an aluminum rail and he hit it with metal pegs.
Yeah,
it was so fucking fast. I think you should have put plastic pegs on, but at the same time, like, it would have made it worse. I think you just had to get as fast down that rail as possible. But unfortunately, he pulled off so early that the height and like, if you like, Mythbusters could figure it out. Like, if we could get those guys to figure it out, but like, just everything, the G forces was so much. If he rode it to the end and just picked up, it would have been, even at that speed, the speed is unreal. Like,
yeah,
you can't even fathom it. You can watch the footage and stuff, but like, it's fucking unreal. Like,
it's one of the craziest things ever attempted on it. But he fucking landed it. He landed one into the stairs and rode away, which is just he
wanted to go back. He was so hurt after that. Like, we only had maybe a few days left in the US. Or they did. They were flying back, and he entertained going back. And me and Jake were like, "Just leave it, dude. Just leave it. You did it. Like, fuck that. You got away with it. You jumped on it 3 times and you survived. Like, for real. Yeah. You went to the stair side every time. If you went to the left, it's death. It's legs. It's things crunching. Yeah. It is. You know, it's like, the reality of it is, you got away with it and you tried it and your bike failed you. Like, literally, it wasn't you. It was the bike. Like, you remind me. It's been a while since I've seen it. What happened? His bike fell apart at the bottom. His wheels exploded on the first 2. And then on the last one, the Odyssey cranks exploded. Damn. So he would have probably held on to that if it wasn't for that. Fuck. So, yeah. And then the next day we went to like Odyssey and like got him a whole new fucking setup. I was like, Nuno, Callan completely destroyed his bike. Can we come and get some stuff? Yeah. He blew his wheels. He blew out Jake's wheels. He didn't destroy Dakota's wheels. So they held up. But like, very good. Went through 4 sets of wheels and a set of cranks. It was just that much pressure and downforce, dude. What the fuck? No, I'm seriously wondering if it's like possible, but it must be if he was that close. No, like, it's possible. I think it was possible for him. I don't know if anybody else could do it. I don't think somebody else tried it, right? No, that's not an attempt. That was hard. That was horrible. That was just like, who was it? Morris? It was one of Nate's buddies, but he had plastic pegs. The thing wasn't even sliding; it was just locking up. He was sliding down like Callan went down it like a bullet freight train. Yeah, that is BMX. You can't touch that. Yeah, that's unbelievable. Speed is key, and knowing that he can adjust his weight left and right like that from the first jump is and try and commit to that is, nobody has that ability. There's nobody that I can say has that ability to try that. Would you say Callan is the best double pegger that you know? Yeah. Because that's a whole balance point. Mac, like shitty Mac, he's got the double peg for sure. But I think Callan, just on a level, like, they've both done amazing shit, but like Callan can do it with an ice pick too. You know, he can hold shit. At the control. He's different. And at speed, he's not scared. So yeah, I think that's one of those things that I think is underrated. The ability to balance on a rail is so fucking hard, but it like looks easy. So you're like, oh yeah, he's just grinding the rail. And like in video games, it's just you hop on it and you're locked in. But like in real life, that's a very sensitive balance point. No. Yeah, you got to be able to swing your knees and legs, and you got to be really centered. It's just like some people can do it. Some, like for me, I'm a lucky lock-in guy. That's how I've always seen myself. A lucky lock-in guy. That's it. That's what I've always been like, you know, with some time and effort put into these tricks. But I don't think if there was a double peg challenge or something that I wouldn't even be close. Even though I've done some big stuff, it's all like slow. It's luck. Like at the end of the day, for a lot of it, like for the gnarliest shit or whatever. But if it was easy, everybody would make it across the Swamp Fest rail. The swamp rail would be done easily. Exactly. So, yeah, that one's a crazy one. People trying that stuff, I would never try that. What's your favorite trick to do? Favorite trick? I'd say like favorite trick that you can just do forever, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
just Smith grind, man.
Smith is sick. I do love a Smith grind.
Yeah, I think everybody can relate to that. You know, everybody can learn that, and everybody can have that in their bag, and you can do it on the smallest, and you can do it on the biggest thing ever.
Let me ask you this: what did you learn first? Feeble, and then double peg, and then Smith?
On the grind stuff, good question. I don't know, actually, because I was grinding quarter pipes back then. I was learning double peg stalls on quarter pipes.
That was your first grind? Is it double peg on a quarter pipe?
I don't think it was my first grind, but I just vividly remember that as being like the most challenging grind to start, like when the pegs went on, was stalling the quarter pipe and not taking my foot off. So I think it started with that, and then it would have been feebles. It would have been feebles and double pegs, and then Smith, and then the ice pick, figuring that out, and the hanger was really in my favor. I don't know if it was my height or something, and I just had good control of like doing hangers. So
nice.
That was a good.
You've done some pretty goddamn legendary hangers, I'll tell you. How tall are you?
Lucky. I'm 6'3", so pretty tall. Yeah,
same.
Good height.
Yeah. I don't know why, but at the wedge, I was like, oh, he's tall.
I'm good.
I don't consider myself tall, and then I see somebody else like my height, and I'm like, dude, you're tall.
Good quarterback height, you know.
So, yeah, we're sports, dude. You're a fucking athlete.
Should have been a quarterback.
We covered how Jay found you. What'd you just say? Hangers, double peg, Smith. Imagine learning Smiths first. Smith was like an advanced maneuver. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I love hearing you say that Voices was influential for you, because that was easily the most influential video that I also played on repeat. So like you're halfway across the world and I'm over here probably at the exact same time watching Voices. I don't know where you watched it. You might have had the DVD. Did you watch it on a video?
Yeah, I got a bootleg. Sorry to the guys if I was a kid. I didn't have money, but the shop owner, like the local shop, had a bootleg copy, and he was from Scotland. So he was Scottish, working in Australia, and I don't think I would have ever seen that video if it wasn't for him. So,
and he ripped a little copy of it. I can just hear the intro right now.
Yeah, I had to get a ripped copy because he gave it to me. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
I imagine you have it as memorized as I do.
Yeah.
What song sticks out? Like, what song / part is like if you had to pick one?
It's like Modest Mouse with Dan Cox. It's
Joe.
Joe, sorry.
Joe,
Dan's the fakie. Joe Cox.
Dan is the MF Doom one.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard Doom too.
And even that too, like every song in that is iconic to me because I watched it so much at a young age. So it was like, all this music is new. I was like, this is the best ever. But that Modest Mouse song is just like stuck in me for sure. Like it's my girlfriend actually got tickets the other night for Modest Mouse.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna go see. And like I've never seen them live or anything, but like if they play that fucking song, I'm gonna be 16 again.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's great, and that's inspiring. You know, that's what you need to do, things like that to get back to your younger self and realize like where it all started. You know, as well.
And it's easy to not be stoked on stuff. You know, you can get a little old, and I've seen everything and get jaded, but like you can let yourself be stoked. Go to a Modest Mouse concert and be fucking hyped.
You have to do it. Like, yeah, because I'll find myself being like very critical about my work or whatever. And
dude,
like you just got to go back and realize like, fuck, man, like this has been the funnest time ever, and all these events and things that like got you here is like you got to appreciate them. You know, even if they're bad events too. You got through it and you're still doing it, what you love. And
I was having that happen today, dude. I was looking at footage for Mediocre 2, which is going to come out December 13th in a theater near you. Just kidding. It's a theater here. But
nice.
I hate it. I'm looking at the footage. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It's going to be great. We're our own worst critic. We always have been. That's just, if you make something, create something, you see it too much too, and you just can't. You can't enjoy it like
you know.
Yeah, I want to be. I would love to be the first audience to look at my own work, if that makes sense. But you would never be able to do that, right? But I wish I could.
How would you be the first audience?
Be the first look into my work for the first time. Unfortunately, I have to create it the whole way.
Yeah,
so I have to see it for the first time. Like it would be weird. Like so. The only way that could happen is if I got dementia, right? I was older and I created a fucking really amazing piece of work or whatever. And I woke up the next day and I didn't know.
And then you watch and you're like, this is fucking good.
And maybe I would say that. Maybe I would say that. Or I would say, who the fuck made this piece of shit? I don't know. But I think, yeah, we're our own worst critic. And dude, you realize real quick when you put something out, people are just so stoked. And the people who are involved in it, it's all for them, you know, like all the writers and, you know, everybody. It's like, that's what it's about. Everybody's so
a weird thing. I think editing videos for me, at least, is like almost like an emotional thing. Like I have to be in it, or at least that's how it's always been. It's for BMX, the thing that I'm passionate. But for work, it's like just da. Even then, like wedding videos, I'll fucking cry while I'm making them, and then I'll be like,
especially with the music that you're using for those.
Super sappy,
very emotional. Yeah.
The other day, I was at an old client's business doing a new video for them, and they were like, can you do, or I forget how it came up, but I ended up watching something that I made for them years ago, and I was like, dude, this is good. Like, but I remember thinking this is shit as I delivered it to them. So you just gotta tell your own brain to shut up.
Time does help when you watch something back. Like maybe if it's been a few years and you're like, you appreciate it way more because that's your younger self or whatever, or like a project like you felt that you didn't do a good job of, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's actually not that bad. And like,
exactly, yeah.
And then you kind of appreciate it. You do. Yeah. So maybe that's as close as you can get to like revisiting or seeing your work for the first time, is the time.
Just forgetting about it and then.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to think, did you have that experience with doing 30? But I don't imagine you would. Did you?
30 was fast paced, kind of happened really rapidly. And it was like timed like for release, you know, of like a 30th anniversary. And then there wasn't a lot of trips. There wasn't a lot of budget because we're still coming off that COVID economy and stuff. So 30 was like more of like me and Nathan just starting it and being like, let's film a video together because we're close. Like San Diego to LA, it's not close, but close enough. Started that way, and then Santi came over and stayed for a couple of weeks and filmed a bunch of footage. And then it was like I had a part kind of lined up, and then it was like, Jay, let's do a video. So it started with that, and then flying Harrison and Casey in. It was very quick. And the editing time was like 0 basically. So
what do you mean by 0? How quick did you have to edit it?
No time. I was filming all the way up until the last 3 days. So it was just like crucial for me to get the footage. And I had
you didn't have enough time to grow to hate it. It was all so fast.
No, I didn't. And the music, like once I had the music lined up and stuff, I edited it so fast in a sense. Like I remember seeing the full video, and it was like two or 3 days before I was meant to hand it in, which wasn't great because Kink wasn't happy about that. But you know,
artists,
how it is. Yeah, it's just how it is. And like there was like, you know, conversations and fucking blah, 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 you know, as we do, me and Jay and shit, talking shit at each other. Because it's a real job. You know, what we're doing is a real job, and then there's a brand behind it, and there's a structure, and you have to like stick to that. And I decided not to, and that is my creative choice, not my corporate choice. And I'm torn between the two. I like to be professional in that, but I also like to give the writers their time and be like, tell them I will be there, even though I don't have time to be there. I'll be there though. You know that. I put that, you know, I don't know. I kind of put myself in a bad situation by trying to help others. So
good.
It was great. And the video I'm super happy with, and the guys were, and I think it did.
Congrats on Nora.
Yeah. And Nathan getting the Nora for best video part. That's the first time I've been involved in a Nora Cup winning project. So it was pretty special for me. Yeah. Yeah, and like Nate called me like a couple of hours after he got the award, and it was pretty sick to just.
And it's like 1 p.m. here, but they're fucking wasted. And
it was like 4 or 5 p.m.
Hell
yeah, it was cool. He was so stoked, and like, I don't know.
He deserved it, man. I mean, we were all talking about it. The crew out here, like, show up to Deck Park, and then it's like a fun little conversation for 10 minutes. Who do you think's gonna win video part of the year? It's like everybody in there was fucking sick. But I was saying somebody was convinced it was gonna be Joe Foley, which I was like, dude, honestly, I would love it if it was him. But I'm telling you, literally the Staples Center and Nathan Williams, and it's
I think it was
phenomenal.
those elements for the Staples Center thing is unreal, and I think it's just like Nathan getting older and just still progressing, and like
still progressing is crazy.
It's just really that plus like the emotional feel, I think, of the film, the music and his family and things like that. That is what, like, I think convinced people to feel like it's just very personal, that video part. And I think that's
it's special, dude. It was special.
Yeah. So and you know, Joe's part, fucking amazing. Like,
dude.
Billions part, like, there's like so many parts. Like, everybody wins. You know, we all win because we all get to do this shit. So the Nora Cup thing, it doesn't change anything for anybody by any means. If people think it does, it doesn't. It just gives you a little inkling of like,
that's a little tip of the hat.
It was a tip of the hat. It doesn't change anything for the riders or the companies or the filmers. People don't just go out and spend a bunch of money on product now because of that video or this and that. It's not how it works. We're in our own ways, and BMX is small, and like, but these are like the fact that award is still happening. You know,
so cool. Shout out
Fudger. Yeah, like I think it means a lot, and it does carry a long way. For me, it carried a long way to get my green card. Actually, the Nora Cup stuff with Champagne, because that is an achievement, a high level achievement. And in BMX, we only have X Games. So for somebody who films video parts, that was my gateway to, you know, convincing the United States that I was a big player, you know, in BMX and stuff. So Nora Cup is for any riders who are trying to do visas or migrate to the US. If you have any achievements in a Nora Cup video or anything like that, you have a pass now to come here if you want. It's valid. So Nora Cup is a big deal for sure.
I've never thought about it in that sense, but it is like it's
a massive achievement. Yeah. And it's you get a letterhead from Fudger or whatever, and there's a whole history. I have it. It's like since 1970, whatever. It's like it's been around for a long time. It's been passed around, but it's stayed true, which is cool. So
Did you know that I got nominated, dude, in 2013 for Mediocre?
Really?
Yeah, dude. And that's like even just being nominated was a big deal for my life. Like, I was in college at the time, and I got to tell my teachers that I got my BMX production was nominated for blah blah blah, and it was a clout thing, you know. It was fucking cool.
Oh yeah, dude, it's special. And like 2013, who were you up against, by the way? Because I'm like curious.
It was Market Zero.
Oh, dude.
Fudger just sent it to me. I was under the delusion that I was like second or third place.
Because Market won that one, right? Because they dropped right after deadline the next year, and then Market swooped in. I'm pretty sure.
Let me tell you exactly. It was Holy Fit, Market Zero, Baco, Push It. These are the top 5. Baco, Push It to 1, Act Like You Know, No Days Off.
Oh yeah,
and Mediocre at Best. Those were the top 5, and we were 4th. Holy Fit and Baco were above us, which is just like fucking let's go, dude. That still feels amazing.
Sick. No, congrats. It's a big deal to have, especially like
that was my whole life. Yeah,
exactly. Like before I moved out here, I did full lengths with my buddies, like 2 full lengths, and like, dude, nobody knew what we were doing out there, but within our community, we knew what the fuck we were doing, and that was the most special thing in the world. Like,
did you do a premiere?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. You do a premiere, and everybody drinks, and
best night of my life.
Yeah, it is. And you don't need to do it for anybody or anything. It'll magically happen. You don't have to force this stuff. If there's a good crew around you, you're gonna make a video with your friends.
Yeah. And low key, even if it's not like a good crew, like I would encourage anybody to just commit to a project that's full length with multiple people in it. And imagine just like 30 people at a premiere is fucking amazing, and you're gonna party, and it's gonna be one of the best nights. You're doing. And the biggest takeaway looking back at it was just like, oh, you can just make stuff happen. Like you can. I literally just did something and booked the theater, and then it works.
It's the way to do it.
Eye opening, Let It Bleed.
Yep. And then Still Bleeding Black and Blue was the sequel. And that's Callan's debut video part. That was his first like full length video
For
part.
each of those, how long were you working on them? I'm so sorry, I keep cutting you off, dude. I'm a dick.
Probably 2 years. 2 years. I think 2018. 2010 was Let It Bleed, and then 2012 was Still Bleeding Black and Blue. So,
do you think that had an effect on you getting hooked up and progressing in the industry, being the one behind like making shit like that happen?
I think, well, yeah, I mean, it did definitely, because Kink saw it and got me on board. So 100% for sure. But I don't know if it was like, I mean, Jay's always been into like people who just have drive and motivation. They're not asked, they're not told what to do, or like you have to, go do this or whatever. Like, you come to Jay and say, I want to do this, or like, I'm doing this already. That's what he wants in riders. And like, not somebody who's just waiting around for the call from Jay to be like, you have to be
directions, right?
Yeah, I think proactive riders and people, just proactive people in general, are what companies are looking for. So if you're a rider out there and you're trying to go big, go pro, you're going to get to the big leagues, be proactive, go out and film, pick up a camera, help your homie. Your homie will help you, and just go out there and get it done. And if you are Flo or Am, just show that you can go out and get things done as much as possible. Just put it in the archive. Just get a vault going of footage. And then when the time comes, you might turn pro, or like the company or the team manager's asking you for footage, and you got it on deck and you're ready to go. And that's kind of how I got lucky in some situations. I had it ready to go. So yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I've given that advice to a friend who got sponsored. I'm like, you can't wait for them to ask you to come on a trip. Like, you make a trip happen and then let them know, like, hey, maybe you can pitch in or whatever, but just make shit happen.
The team manager wants to see you out and active and like interacting with the local community and like communities around your home. So just seeing a 2-hour drive here and 2-hour drive there, love that. That's awesome. Yeah. That's you getting out there and like repping the brand and repping yourself, and like, and going to see new spots, or going to a new skate park to go film at this sick pool that they have there, or like whatever it is. Like, people pay, like team managers pay attention to that. Like the good ones do. Yeah. Not all the team managers out there are good, I don't think personally, but there's the good ones know what's up. So
did you know this when you were first getting sponsored, or is this something that you learned over time?
No, this is just me. This is who I am. I'm just motivated, and like I had good people around me. Like I had Callan, me and Callan were like back and forth. Who's got this?
Yeah, over ices, right?
Feed each other. Like that was the best. Like we were just motivating each other. Like, who's got this? Who's got that? And like just go. He was great at filming too. I was good at filming, so it was like he can skate, fish line, all that. It was never had to like. Yeah, we didn't have to wait for somebody. We were just doing it, and
ideal. That's amazing. Yeah.
And it was never for a sponsor or anything like that. I never thought about it like that. It was just like, I want to have a sick part. Like, I want a good part. Like, I want to try to get this trick for this part. I think it's going to complement. It was very right in front of you what the reason was. It wasn't that far. It wasn't like going to the US or going to ride for Kink or Vans.
I'm planning my career. I'm going to end up working on retainer for these brands.
No, you can't even plan it. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't.
Yeah.
You'd never know which direction you're going to go in. And just like any extreme sports and stuff, it's like, it's dangerous. You don't know when, the next thing is going to take you out. Yeah. I have friends with knee injuries and they just could never get back. And it's sad, like. It
is sad.
It's a tough industry to be in, like action sports in general. And, you just don't know. So you just got to enjoy it day by day and go out and get that thing you really want to get, because the spot might disappear or you might get hurt, or like, it's the reality of it. You just gotta.
Life is short.
Yeah, exactly.
You might as well
go hard. Yeah.
I hate asking this, but I'm gonna. Like, what's your worst injury? Knock on wood.
Worst injury was when I was like 19, 20. It wasn't that bad of an injury, but my foot completely dislocated. My lower, like it was like the talus bone snapped. So I had a dislocated foot and it was stuck, like a rolled ankle that just stayed rolled.
Ugh.
And I had a surgery and I had to have it screwed back. And that was in Sydney. while I was hanging out with Alex Live, and yeah, just did a
That
nose
seems
switch.
fitting. Fucking hang out with Bone Death
Yeah.
and Live. You can fuck your shit.
It was it was bad, but got away with that, and took me a while to get back on my bike and film. And like that was when I filmed Still Bleeding Black and Blue right after. It took me about 6 or 7 months to be able to ride my bike again.
But you could film with a broken foot. You could film.
I was still filming. I mean, there's footage of me in that video, the intro of it, and I'm sitting in a deck chair with a fucking cast on.
My guy, dude.
I was filming. I was filming the homie. Like I couldn't even put pressure on a walk. I was on crutches and all that.
You still gotta go out there and get amongst.
Yeah, it was a bad one because it was an impact bone, or whatever they call it, like a pressure bone. So
that doesn't sound good.
It was 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. It was a long time.
That's like you might as well have torn your ACL type thing. That's serious. Yeah.
It was bad, and then confidence and all that, and they cut the nerves in my foot, so I can't feel anything in it and shit. Yeah.
For me, I fucked my tailbone. I landed on a rail and broke the tailbone. I think compound fracture because like tore myself a new asshole with my tailbone. And then that was like the catalyst for me to really push into getting better at filming, and like that was my way of being injured was like I'm a filmer now. At least for a while I'm recovering.
Yeah, exactly, and it makes you feel a part of it, like you're still doing it.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, I think that's for me same thing. That was like kind of going to the next video and being like, I really do love this because I'm still here, even though I'm injured.
Yeah.
I was like still like texting the homies, what's the plan? You got a spot, you know? Or I found a spot, you know, like I got this, you know, it was always on my mind. So yeah.
What a beautiful thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and passion, man. Passion is key for a lot of things. So you'll get you places.
I'm grateful for it. Like I remember, dude, my parents used to say I was dating my bike because every night I was going to the skate park instead of whatever normal kids were doing. And it just shaped the trajectory of everything. And now I'm making a living off of doing video and other stuff that I've learned along the way. But it's really cool.
Learned all that from BMX, you know, the video career and everything. And like now you're podcasting and literally.
I'm a podcaster, dude. What the fuck?
You got someone on every week. You're killing it. Like it's awesome, you know.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, appreciate it.
Podcasting is a great thing especially for our situation in BMX. We only have a few, so we're not oversaturated. We have the right amount. I think everything is working really good as far as the podcast world. You can't just have one. You can't just have two. You need to have three. You know.
Yeah.
But it is good. It is great. I think it's good for people like myself to just like talk and chat, and like I'm not loud on Instagram. I'm not loud. Like I don't express too much. Like every now and again, it's like I'm in a good mood right now. We dropped the Kink video today. Saw my dad last week. Let's talk. Like let's be.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to talk too much, but
it is like mood based. I've canceled it because I'm like I'm grumpy. I don't really want to talk to you right now. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you dropped that shit today. So let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah. Well, we dropped that today. So that's when I was chatting with you earlier. It's kind of figuring out what was going on over there. So yeah, it's online.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you on a time crunch? You want to watch this with me?
Yeah, we can watch it real quick. Yeah, that's fine.
No, and then we can hit the exiting questions, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We've done a pretty good job.
So here's the thing, I can't play music, so
no, keep it monetized, man.
Just on the main episodes for the live.
I mean, how many ads can you squeeze into this thing, dude? Is it 2 hours long?
Probably. I could fit more than I'm doing. I think about that. What I did was I spent maybe 1 week trying to figure out how to get sponsored, and then I did, and I haven't tried anything since. But
but you don't have any sponsors for the show, right?
Yeah, Burn Slow and Dance Comp and.
Oh, so you do? Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, Burn Slow, Dance Comp, and
I've seen that you did a giveaway the other day, so I should be more aware of that. But
yeah, no, that's all good.
You have show sponsors, and then additionally you monetize, right? Monetize.
Yeah. Which it ain't no dream money. It's amazing. I get like $150 a month from YouTube, which is not nothing, but it's not gonna fucking make you do it.
I think we can get those numbers up, dude. I think there's a way to do it. It's
Where'd you hear that? I think you might have surpassed me in subscribers already.
I got a couple thousand. It's nothing crazy, but But I will say,
and Hiddle's in this picture.
You didn't see?
Go, dude.
Yeah, sneaky Hiddle. But yeah, YouTube's great. Fucking do it. Everybody should just do it on the side if they have the footage.
Why aren't you talking in your videos? I actually don't know. You might be talking more in your videos, but I remember actually saying that on Unclicked. I think I say I love Calvin's doing YouTube, but you gotta give us a narrative, dog.
I need to let people know that I'm a person.
Yeah, you're a person. You're smart. You're eloquent. You're well dressed, dude. You're talented. Let's go.
I'll try. But yeah, I think
it's probably that same little voice in your head saying that's lame.
Yeah, always.
So what's the story behind this video?
So Jay put it together. Jay was like, getting the team to Philly. We're going to do an East Coast trip. One video, just as many people as we can get on the trip. And yeah, just see what happens. 12 days. I was like, cool, let's do it. But prior to that, we were in New York for 3 days with Jacob. Jacob had a frame come out, kinetic frame.
Yeah.
So we did a promo video.
Oh, did you shoot that promo stuff?
Yeah.
That was phenomenal. I was like, this is cinematic as shit.
Yeah, and that was fun. We're just, Jacob's amazing, can do the craziest trick. And then we just kind of let him live in New York City. So it was a different platform, different area rather than California for him.
He's been a Cali boy.
Yeah, I think it's like it was perfect, I think it was great. And then drove to Philly and then moved straight into this video. Didn't know what we were going to get, but the first day I was like, fuck, we got a lot of footage. And I'm like, we have 10 more days or whatever, 11 more days. I'm like, I think we're going to have a really good video here if we stay on this trend. And between the 8 riders, like, just imagine if everybody's getting 1 clip a day. Like, you're busy.
Honestly, yeah.
Busy. Definitely busy. And
it's honestly like a 10-day trip to cut it down to 8 minutes is tight. Like that's
yeah. I have like there is some extra footage I threw together for like a Instagram cut for Kink, and it's just raw fisheye stuff. It's kind of fun. Like there's just so much extra left and right, and it wasn't serious. It was just like whatever you guys want to do, go film and have fun. So.
Oh, you said extra left and right without even noticing. Standpoint left right reminds me of.
That's a great
extra
film.
left right.
Yeah. But
it was a good era. Kids these days don't even know what left right is, dude.
No, they don't. It's way.
So I imagine in your days you've done some, trips where there's a lot of partying, and I don't know if I see that for this trip. Is this a party trip? I feel like this is just a productive, keep it low key trip.
Super productive, but Jay let us all get out of the house at 12 to 1 or 12 or 1. That changes everything. But it's summer, so you can do that. If it's towards the end of winter or out of winter, guys have to be up at 11, 10 to get out the house, and that changes the whole trip structure, 100%.
Yeah.
So any young team managers out there trying to figure it out, do them in summer because you're going to get more productivity out of, especially a big crew. If it's like 3 or 4 people, it's different. But to get a whole house moving, it's a lot.
You have to plan on 10 in order to get out by 11:30.
Kind of like Jay was kind of planning on 10 to get, and we got out at 1. 12 and getting out at 1, but we had 8 hours. To film. So that's more than enough for me because I'm not stopping that whole 8 hours every day. I didn't stop for I couldn't go get a drink. I couldn't get food. I had to ask people to get it for me. Couldn't even eat a sandwich. So yeah, because these guys have high energy.
It's nonstop.
Have a lot of tricks. As soon as I got that trick, Nathan's doing this. So I'm like, and you're just back and forth and back and forth. Casey filmed 2 things, and now I'm running up the street because Lucas wants to get this on the storm door. We've got to sneak in real quick. It's just for me, it's a lot, but then looking at it after, I'm like, fuck yeah, that was sick. It was worth it.
Yes, absolutely. It's almost like you kind of detach in the moment. You're just on autopilot, but then when you put something like this together, it's like, oh yeah.
I barely exist on these. I exist at night. So when you go back to the partying, I'll be having beers and smoking cigs on the rooftop and just trying to chat and talk to people. And
they're like, can I see the footage? And you're like, no.
Yeah, it's like so who and also the new people on the trip, meeting Emma and Lucas and Ben Hill's on there, and I haven't spent time with these people. I'm just after a whole day of filming and having nothing but hyper focus on on when the ride is coming, because they're not calling out and telling you when they're coming. You know, you just focus. All I want is a conversation about farming and agriculture, you know, with somebody, and get to know where they're from.
Yes.
So yeah, the evenings like were good for me. I felt like after a long day, I'd be like, just chat, talk to everybody, catch up with Daryl again, and like, you know, just you need to do all that stuff. You can't just be work, and like, you got to spend time just kicking back.
Because being a person,
these trips are like,
oh
yeah, that's so sick. These trips are serious in a sense, but like these are like the memories of our lives. And Jay says that he's like, I try and like get you guys on trips, and I want you to enjoy them. I want these to be good memories of your like,
it can't be just
like, yeah, it's got to be like, it has to be. And like, yeah, those trick challenges, like trying to get those tricks, and like, you know, Lucas getting this line took him a long time, but he's gonna remember that forever. Like, and then go back and have a beer and like chill, like talk shit, get to know your freaking pros, you know, your idols, you know, like these young kids. And I'm like, it's awesome, you know. So you need a balance. You do. If you try and like push people to be out early and like on shit, like, that's so sick too.
It's a real balance, like you're saying.
Yeah.
They get
these guys work on their own time, you know. So you've got like multiple people working on their own time. The only person who has to just constantly be on time is like team manager, or the filmer mainly, and then the team manager.
Right. Yeah.
So like, yeah, this stuff is, I mean, you're making like, when you have this many people that's so talented, you're you know, when it comes to like just being at home in Perth and filming with the homies on the weekends and stuff, you slowly gather this much footage in like 6 months.
Right.
You know, 10-minute video. I'm doing this in 12, 11 days. So it's like, it's a lot. You know, that is when you're like, fuck, these projects are tough, but you need to do them. And like, I do like the long form projects where we spend time and go to different cities and stuff. So yeah, but we needed to do something like this after 30, just have the crew together. And yeah, Harrison's.
Jesus Christ, dude. All right, multiple questions. It's Linda is her name? That's who's on the team?
Emma.
Yeah. Sorry, Emma. Yeah, Harrison's nuts. Nathan Clip. Are you, and then you mentioned doing dude, I feel bad. Sorry, Emma. But are you saving anything from that trip for longer length? Dude, by the way, that was fucking great. I can't wait to watch it again with music. It's probably
the music's fun. I used a certain track that was kind of funny. Will Smith. Anyway, we won't go there. Philly, West Philly. So yeah, all the songs are from Philadelphia artists and that. So
cool.
I kept the music on that track and diversified the music. It's all very different, but yeah. Anyway, so
saving footage for a longer project. Are you guys stacking anything right now?
I saved some idea of Nathan from New York. So Nathan came to New York with Jacob and got some extra stuff. Kind of made a start on something, but at the same time, Nathan's on a friggin' world tour right now, apparently, and it's not going to be back here until like end of next month. But
what is he doing?
He's just living, dude. He's doing it. He's
for him.
Pro. He's a big dog. So he's doing the FICE contest, I think, out in like Wolver something in UK, and then he'll be going to Richmond, Virginia, with the Kink team for Powers BMX shop. I think they have the 20th anniversary, so we'll be out there for that weekend, and then we're going to do a cinema trip, quick one, only like a short cinema trip with Garrett, Chad, Nathan. Dakota's not going to make it because he has a cult trip around the same time for Dots. So we're going to Dots. Like, there's a lot that's happening.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to squeeze in some stuff with cinema. I'm just doing a project for cinema on the side. I don't work for cinema, or like, I'm not like.
Yeah, but you're close with Jay, and he's the runner right now. So yeah,
you know what's up. You know how it all works. But it should be fun. And you just had Stroud on, so like he's like one of my idols, and cinema, and you know, to be able to like do a little cinema piece is kind of special. And I had to take over the Kink stuff straight away. At the same time, Will stepped down from cinema. Daryl did too. So we just had to like make a executive decision that it made more sense for me to stay with just Kink stuff, and then cinema stuff was to go where it needed to go with like Peter Adams, and then I'm not sure who shot the last one. I think it was Trent, maybe. Did Julian's video? It was Trent. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was Trent. Yeah.
So it's kind of been like cinema hasn't had a filmer role, like a locked in filmer since Will left. It's been Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm thinking Cinema BMX in Boston. Was that Will?
That was
no, Peter. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, they've just been trying to figure that out because it's a massive loss losing Will on that. You know, that's his image, look, style, everything is, and the team obviously respect him fully. So
very big shoes to fill.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna try and put some Stroud flavor in this video when we go out there.
Hell yeah,
it'll be fun.
What do you think Stroud flavor is?
It's the music, dude.
It is the music, right? Yeah, it's the music.
He has like the genre. It's that, and then there's like certain cuts that he does, and I think like the pan ups. So like like an edge, like there's, he'll see it. He'll got to pay homage. You know,
hell yeah, I like to hear that.
These are the people who influence me. They're Will's a great human being. Like
yeah. Let's talk. I wrote down earlier. I was like, I would like to know your 4 most influential. 4, I don't care. Your most influential filmers when you were getting into it, and then after that, I'd like to know your favorite filmers currently. This one I will remember. I have to pee, so we're gonna come back and then we're gonna wrap this shit up.
Yeah, I'll do the bathroom break time.
All right, cool. Favorite filmers. I'm gonna remember this time. All right.
No, that one's we got it. That's an easy one.
Filmers.
Back in business.
So who influenced you?
Well, I'll start with local. So for me, is Graham Scott. He's one of the first dudes I saw like make a video with like the local Perth guys, and his like generation of riders. Like they're a few years older than me, you know, like 5-6 years older than me, and they're already out in the streets. So Graham, like How Hard Is It is the video that he put out originally that I saw, and then he put out Closing Time. So like that era and that filming and everything was motivational for me. And me and Graham like have a little distribution actually in Australia, which is cool. So like we're like business partners like all these years later and have respect for each other. Like we're like talking about Super 8 stuff and like how to fake Super 8 and stuff. I was like, I can't do it.
Let's just not breeze over. You just said you have a distribution. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's like it's a small distribution, but we do like Space Brace, The Trip, we're Doomed, Silent Mag, we're doing Heavies, like a bunch of stuff like Paul was doing, like all those brands, and then we had like DRG Machine, like all the stuff that was getting done by Derek. So we did a run of that, like stems, and it's like really hard to like actually get hard goods. Like it's all covered, you know, like all the brands are already covered, and then you have to have a lot of money to like get these parts from Taiwan and all this stuff. So we've just stuck to like soft goods and Space Brace. Space Brace kills it. It's one of the best products ever and does really well. Mike Gray, he figured it out. He's one of the, you know, the most fucking, I don't know, strangest.
Space Brace is doing well. Like I haven't thought of Space Brace in years since I saw the first couple commercials, but they're doing well.
It just flies out the door, and it's a great product for everybody, for mountain bikers, for BMXers, skateboarders, basketball players. It doesn't matter. It goes everywhere.
Damn, dude, that's
so Mike Gray. A lot of people don't know, but he's got a great business, and it's doing really well. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Good job, Mike Gray. That's amazing.
Yeah. So with that said, great little distro, Cop distribution, Australia. If you need anything, shops, and we are direct description. We are direct online too. So if you want to grab things that your local shop doesn't have, you can grab it, or just request your shop to get it from us if it's in stock. So
well, yeah. What the fuck? Hold on. We'll put Filmers on the back burner. How long has this been a thing, and how much do you have to do? Like
4 years, about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, but so talk to like place orders. We do Buddy bottom bracket too now. So Ben out there in the UK, and that's like a nice little hot ticket. Like people love those things, and they just did a collab with Colt. So we've got some Colt Buddy shirts coming, and it's I don't know.
So you're just communicating with people and
Yeah, trying to like maintain that, and then doing the pricing, and then uploading everything on our web store, and then wholesaling. So like a lot of it's like digital. I don't touch the product at all.
Yeah.
It gets sent to Graham, and then Graham ships it all out, and we just have like a good relationship of it. You know, I'm not there, but we made it work together, and you know, at the end of, you know, a few months or whatever, we send some money to our bank accounts, and it's cool, like, you know.
What
So
the fuck, dude? That's amazing.
yeah, it's a fun little hobby, and we both just do our regular jobs, and you know,
Yeah,
keep
good for you.
it floating. But yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
What prompted that? Why did you start that?
I think it was just like seeing what other people have done. Like, oh, you can do this. You can be a distribution. I had friends who had brands, companies, and whatever. I just wanted it to happen. Like the trip, you know, with Ty, and started with that, and then Sean had Further, and we were doing Further back then, and then Mike had Space Brace. You know,
boom,
snowballs like slowly, and then Graham wanted to get the DRG stuff, and then we did an order, and like that was kind of wild. We were like, fuck, we were spending like $4,000 or $5,000 on all this stuff. It was expensive stuff.
Yeah.
And like all the trail guys just ate that shit up, and really good quality USA made stuff. That was cool to be able to bring in, and everything sold. You know, like for the most part, when it comes to apparel and fashion, it moves pretty fast, so it's hard to like stock a lot. But it eventually all moves, and people buy it, and you know. Yeah,
fucking cool, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
I don't know why it feels like that's such a surprise, but it's just, what don't you do, brother? What you're doing it all. I love it.
Then we go. Well, the other one is the Chic Bicycle Club, which is my side fun project, and you
Chic
can get like
Bicycle Club.
Yeah, so that is just like my like get out of like my own head and go do something for myself. So that one's for the people, for BMX riders. Anybody who can be a part of it. It's not a clashing anything. It's not anything. It's not one thing or nothing. But if you go to the website, you'll see what it's about and kind of what the products are. And yeah, it can be anything. It's kind of fun. So
how do you spell chic?
CHIC. And then
bicycleclub.com.
Yeah. So that's my my fun. Like I enjoy every now and again. We did a collab with Help right before the 30 video came out. So we did a shirt, and yeah, just jewelry, random pieces. It's me smoking a cig in the van. Like, I wouldn't say I keep it up to date, insane, but like, yeah, it's more just like it was
we got a blog going.
Yeah, but
who's in the club?
This is everybody, dude. Anybody can be a part of it.
That's a sick art. I like that. That's a sick art. What a sentence. That's a cool image. That's a sick art, dude.
Welcome to the club. But I think it's fun to just be like, oh, I can just go do something and try it out. And like these hats I'm still trying to get done right now. I'm speaking to somebody, but I try to do them in 4 different languages on the back was the plan. So Spanish, German, French, English.
Sick.
Yeah. So then, you know, you buy your region, which is cool. But
man, yeah, that's amazing. Cool. I didn't know about this, but
very simple, very fun, and like, yeah, part of like just a part of my like I don't know, my thought journey of like, oh, this is like my fun version of BMX or whatever. But yeah,
that's incredible.
All these random things. But I'm so busy with Kink and Vans and, you know, Source BMX stuff or whatever. It's like I don't have much time to like focus on that. I'm not going to go out and film a mixtape or like put in work, or like it's just like, here's an idea and an option, and like just see what bites.
What was the initial idea? Let's start a club and make a hat. Like I like it. It's got a lot of potential. It's just kind of like general.
It's jewelry. Like I make like little jewelry pieces and like hand engraved shit. Like it's kind of fun. It's like pandemic stuff, you know.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, just so you're bored at home going crazy, and you're like, all right.
Got the Zippos, like, you know.
Yeah.
See, like and it was also like tangible things that will last a little longer, like, and then like just things that you kind of hang on to and like grab. Like
I like that.
It's fun, yeah. So, and yeah, everything, it's very hands-on, so it's not very practical. If there was a lot of orders or anything, it's no way I could like be ripping rings out and fucking engraving him and sending him out. But the orders that were coming through, especially when I first launched, was just the fun, perfect amount, which like made sense. So
yes.
yeah.
Also, okay, wait. Help is We Film Criminals, right?
Yeah. So this is a collab shirt we did with Help, and me and Nathan were just like filming 30, and we were like, let's do a shirt before it comes out, because I filmed that. It's the intro of 30, the We Film Criminal. Oh, it's like a Super 8 clip. And I was like, let's just put out a shirt together, dude. Like, we've been working our asses off. Like, we can make a shirt and like launch it and stuff. And we did. It's like Dave Fortman like did all the art and design, like got it all dialed in, and then I got them all printed out here. And yeah, we just went for it. So shirts.
How many shirts, like for this in particular, like how many did you make and have on hand?
I did 130 or 125 shirts.
Nice.
So, and what we have left right now is I have currently, I think, like 28 in stock. So,
dude, good job.
Yeah. Source BMX stocked it, and Local BMX. So, Source BMX is Nathan's shop, and then my shop is Local BMX. So, they were the two shops that were only allowed to stock it, and then we had it on Help and Chic's website. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's fun and so easy to do. Like, it was just like, let's do it, and it's just done.
Yeah, and you're making the website and
in between 30, like while we're filming 30, just like getting it done, just squeezing it in there. I was like, I didn't even know if I did that. Like,
it's not like you're filming all day for these things. There is time for stuff like this, you know.
Yeah, you can squeeze it in. So it was.
You hang out with a couple high performers, and then you realize, oh, there's a bunch of hours in the day. You could do everything if you really want to. You just gotta want to.
Just sleep a little less, man. You'll get a lot of shit done.
Yeah. Fuck, even sleep 8 hours. You're fine. There's so many hours. Like, we waste so much time throughout the day. It's fun.
I know. It's really easy. But yeah, so
this is very inspiring, Calvin. It's cool.
Sidetracked heavy, but
I'm hyped. I'm juiced up, Calvin. You got me juiced up. Now let's talk about your filmer influence.
We're going back to Australia, and it'll be Troy Charlesworth, as
AKA Big Salad.
Big Salad.
Shout out Big Salad.
One of the best to ever do it, and obviously just give me the time to go out and ride my bike, and he filmed it, you know. And I think I owe a lot to him for that. Anybody who like spends time filming somebody or spending their time with someone is like, that shit means a lot, you know, to me. To see someone like, you know, being like supporting somebody to do something cool. So Troy, massive influence. And then you know, there's a lot within Australia, but we're only picking 4, so I'm going to skip and go to America. And then when it comes to America, it's like Tony Ennis, without a doubt, Will Straub, without a doubt. Those two, just like who Will is as a person is like inspiring as fuck too. Like, you know, and Daryl is another one. There's a lot of people. There's a lot, dude. Like, they're all great. Yeah. The people who are currently doing it right now are amazing, like in my eyes, because I know how hard it is, and it's not easy to do what we do. So
yeah,
current filmers, Grant C, Vish, even Eddie now at Colt.
Yeah, dude, Eddie's a filmer now. He's
doing it. You know, he's taking in a role, and I think team managing now and all that. And I'm like, anybody who's doing it right now, or even the people in the past, Navarre's fucking amazing work,
top notch. Yeah,
the best to ever do it. And like, I don't know, there's no top number. Like, I like look at people like on like 2 levels, I guess, like personal level and like who they are as a person and a filmer, and then somebody I haven't met who's just a great filmer. So like, I think the personal level stuff for me is really what takes the cake, like Daryl and Will. 100%. And like, I don't know Navarre that well, but I love his work, and you know,
he's a camera nerd.
He's great. He's the greatest. And Rich too. I don't know him that well, but he is the greatest, you know, like, but on the personal level of things, like me and Tony Ennis will go see Willie Nelson and shit, and just and just talk about Fiend, talk about Kink, talk about this new rider, and like, we just,
he's a good
have that connection, you know, like, and I think that is inspiring to me. You know, I still look up to all these guys, and yeah, the personal connection now, knowing a lot of these guys is what really helps me for sure.
Yeah, it's cool because I think Without a doubt, your name is in that conversation as well. If it wasn't you that I'm talking to, like people are mentioning Calvin's work, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool to you say that, but at the same time, like I'm just so wrapped up in like talking about these people. Like I don't think of myself as that. Like I said before, I'll put something out, I question it, and I'm like, it's not good enough. You know, it's not this or it's something. But you know, in hindsight,
funny, that's what makes it good. Is if you fucking hate it and you know you can do better, that's what good shit comes from. You know,
kind of helps you. Put out something a little bit better next time, or think a bit harder, or, you know, before you. I don't know.
What's in the future for you in the near future for filming? I know we talked about your saving footage and stuff, but like what?
Yeah, I think so near future, me and Dennis are working on a little piece for Vans.
Ooh.
And that's gonna like entail ramps getting to spots and locations. So cool. I'll keep it kind of like secretive, but at the same time, it's gonna be cool. Dennis is we're gonna go out on Sunday, but he's like mountain biking, getting back on the program because he hurt his knee a few months ago. So he's really close to starting that project, and it's going to be super fun. So San Diego, spots, ramps, Dennis, you know, it's going to be good.
That's a really good recipe.
And then forward into the next projects with Dakota, like working with him and filming something like a little bit more personal and like about his career, I'd say. And that'd be for Vans and more about like who he is and what he's done. And then hopefully we get out there and start filming again too. Like right now he's looking really good and positive.
I know, like almost miraculous the comeback he's making. It's fucking amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, it's motivating for me. I'm like, fuck, this is cool. Like like it's like he's back, like he's posting every day and like he's learning a new trick and he's like you know, he's letting people know like he's relearning shit. You know, it's not easy. So we've been out a few
anybody times. Can fucking do it. It's deck, dude. It's really crazy. It's so cool to see because you know he's like regimentally eating well, taking care of himself. He's doing the PT. He's fucking practicing the biking. It's really cool to see. It's as you said, it's very inspiring, honestly.
Yeah, there's like those certain people in this world that like have that drive and ability to like, they're just, you know, even before the accident, he always had that huge drive and ability to just make things happen, and everybody was shocked. Like, how the fuck did you do that? You know, Dak is one of those. He's like a LeBron, you know, where they're getting older and they're getting better, and he had a serious injury and he's overcoming that, and he's got challenges 100%. Like, it's not going to be easy, but I've seen it. He's doing it. Right. He's pushing so hard to do what he loves and do it at a level that is Dak. You know, that is what's really special.
I really love that you called him LeBron because it makes me think about the parallel. Like people compare LeBron to Michael Jordan, and you could say Dakota Roche is like the new Dave Mirra, but like Dave Mirra didn't go searching for spots, and like the amount of work and longevity that Dakota, Nathan, Corey, everybody, like the others are slipping my mind right now, but like it's a different ball game. Like the game has evolved to where like if I don't know, not to downplay the older legends, but like the amount of work that it took to become a legend then is not nearly as much as like the length and crazy shit that you have to do like to be a Dakota and a Nathan right now. It's fucking amazing.
It is. And those guys are a testament to that. And like, you know, the current climate for a new pro is like a lot of social media, a lot of travel, as many video parts as you can. The amount that they have to do in a year is so hard, but these guys have still managed to like maintain that social media, 3 video parts a year, fucking work there. Like, you're getting older. You shouldn't be able to do the same amount as the 20-year-old. It doesn't make sense. And it's that plus progression. And I'm like, those guys, Nathan, Dak, Corey, like, again, like it's the Levi's team, you know, like
for real.
Like, and you wouldn't, fuck man, when you're a kid watching the Levi's video, Will Stroud again, you wouldn't think that these guys would still be doing this shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 12 years later, you just won video part of the year, you motherfucker. It's so crazy.
It's cool, and I think that's very, very inspiring for a lot of people, I'd say, and including myself. So
So let's talk real. I mean, there's a couple of questions I want to ask. First, we'll get to Mount Rushmores. I want to ask you. You can think ahead of time, like your Mount Rushmore of Australian riders. But
Yeah.
right now, let's talk about if you could wave a magic wand and make a trick disappear. Nobody's ever done it. Nobody ever will do it. What's the trick that you hate?
Just to get rid of it, like a hate trick.
Fuck this trick. Mine is X uprights, except for Dennis Anderson. He can do it.
Fuck yeah. Do I fucking? I know I hate something. I know I hate something. This is hard because like I want to make sure it's like the right one. Because there's things I don't like for sure. Fuck.
Workshop it with me. What don't you like?
Well, the thing is, if I say it, I'm going to offend somebody, right?
Oh yeah, good.
So it's just. I mean, fuck, man. Everybody's pretty.
Hey, what do we say about self-censoring, dude?
I know. I'd say like, fuck, right now, like what is a dislike, a genuine dislike for me? Because I did overcome a lot of this stuff, like overthinking what other people are doing, and I realized like I don't need to like entertain that world.
It's
like,
silly.
It is.
It's a nonsense question. It's just for fun.
It is, but I'd say like fuck crank flips. I don't know, just for me personally.
Nice.
I don't, but they've been done at a level now that is really impressive to me. 100%. I think. Yeah. I think
they're fucking awesome. Objectively, they're great, but fuck them.
But if I have to get rid of a trick, I could get rid of that, and BMX would be just swell.
It'd be fine. Yeah.
It'd be great. So
valid. I like that. That's an interesting answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I couldn't fucking do it though. That's probably half of it.
And then, what do you think is your scariest moment so far?
Scariest moment. I don't know. I haven't been married yet, so scariest moment in life, or
is that scary to not be married yet?
I'd say it'd be scary to get married, but or like
it is a big
scary kind of moment, but also a beautiful moment. But I don't know, scariest moment. I've had guns pulled on me, I guess.
What? That's scary.
Yeah, that makes you pray to God and shit.
Sheesh.
But that was one time in San Francisco with Callan and Jake. This dude it was that night. I was with another buddy, Justin, from the Bay, and this fucking dude just pulled the piece out like above us, just started waving at us and told us to shut the fucking dog up now, I'll fucking shoot your dog. And like we were like, whoa, like no one's around. Gun came out. He was saying he was Italian, fucking this and that, which I think is bullshit because you don't talk like that if you are a part of that shit.
Yeah, if you are a gangster, you don't scream.
And his buddies grabbed him and kind of pulled him away, but that was pretty fucking scary.
Yeah. Fuck. That's pretty good. What about on the bike? What's the clip that you've sweated?
It has to be Rochester. There's this spot in Rochester. Jay told me that the spot was getting knocked down. He's like, you have to do it. You have to do it on this trip. And it was a rail hop gap to ledge ride. And I was like scared shitless of it. But I knew I had to impress Jay and like the team. Daryl's there and like everybody's there. That was probably the scariest thing I did because I fucking lip slid the ledge that I was riding on because I'm like super skinny and rode it out. But it's in like a ride web video. It's the end of clip and it's just loose. Like it's my heart was racing and I remember saying like I'm gonna take that. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was one thing that I was like out of my element because I didn't even know how to warm up for that. I was just went for it. Yeah, cool spot. But Jay, they got rid of it. They got rid of it last year. This was like 10 years ago. I did it 9 years ago.
The spot they got rid of?
Yeah, Jay lied his ass off on that.
The spot was there for another 2 years. You're good.
It was there for another 9 years.
That was a pretty good Jay impression. You have to do it. You have to.
Yeah, you have to do it now. Like, when are you gonna come back? It's gonna be gone when you come back.
Hi, Jay.
He texted me before I flew out there, so we had a photo and everything. He texted to me, "You have to do this." So it was like, oh, man, yeah.
When was this? Like when you first came out here?
2014, 15.
Yeah.
That was like second kink trip.
Yeah.
That was
prove yourself, motherfucker.
Yeah, I really I really did. I think on that one, it's dangerous, but yeah, scary.
Okay. We'll wrap it up. 2.5 hours. That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
So give me your Mount Rushmore for Australia and your Mount Rushmore for everywhere else.
Yeah. So Australia, Mount Rushmore. I'm going to go with Callan Stibads, Lewis Mills, Alex Liv, and then Corey Bowen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Studs.
Yeah. That's Australia for sure. That's a good one. And then for the United States, it's got to be Tymo, Dakota Roche, Nathan Williams. The last one is hard because there's so many people. There's so many great people that I'm like, fuck, like you're the GOAT in my eyes, but on a personal level, we hang out. It's like, all right. So for the last one, I'm gonna say Garrett because it's just Garrett, dude. He's just the man. He's the man on and off the bike. He is a great example of like how to create jobs and team positions for riders. He built a brand. You know, he got people moving and traveling. Deadline, he paid for everything, and he got that movie. I call it a movie. That movie out into the world. He did that. You know, like he's done so much, and all those four. There's way more than that. That's you're just giving me Mount Rushmore, and I need
you need a quadruple Mount Rushmore at least.
Yeah, there's great humans, and everybody's played a part to make it great. You know, in BMX.
It's fire.
Yeah.
So last thing, when you talked about Australia riders, and I was thinking about who isn't on the Mount Rushmore, but it made me remember about the Alex injury from Simple Session.
Dude, that was horrible.
Alex.
Yeah.
I think it's okay, and I think he's like he'll be all right. You know.
Yeah. From going from that crash, from what we all saw to like a week later, him being able to talk to us and
huge.
That is like huge.
Yeah.
I think
I think he's still there, right? I don't know.
What's that? Sorry.
I think he's still in Estonia at the hospital.
He's home now. He flew home
now. Sick.
Yeah, he's home. So like even better for him. His dad flew out to get him. I'm not sure who else, but I know his dad was there. And then it's brain injuries are serious, and you don't. We've had a lot of our friends go through it, and it takes some time. Like neurologically, like nerves and all that stuff too. Like it just takes time. So you don't know the full extent until you really work on it. But from what I can see, he looks great, and he's talking and he's doing his daily. He's traveled, so he's got home. That's a huge bonus.
It's fucking tragic. I heard his chain broke.
Yeah, did you see? He kind of just bunny hopped and it just went wrong into the. It must have been the chain or engagement or something. Like it just threw. He didn't get that pressure, that pop pressure, and it just.
Or the slack and the free coaster fucked up or something like that.
Something like that.
It was nightmare shit. That sucks, dude.
He's such an amazing bike rider, and that happening is like fuck, man. It's 1 in a million. Like just doesn't happen.
So I don't know if the GoFundMe is still going, but if it is, I'll put it in the description of this, and that'll be our ending note. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to?
No, man, we go. That's if I have more to talk, I didn't think I had much to talk about, and then I was having drinks, and I'm like, actually, let's just talk, and we went all over the board.
That's how it goes, dude. I knew as soon as you texted me that, I was like, shut the fuck up.
No, we hit it all. We even went into politics. So
that was fun.
But I appreciate you finally making this happen too, and I know I kind of put it off a while ago, but just how it goes.
It's what it is.
You've been busy. You've been doing it. I've been seeing the podcast popping, and you guys have been filming out there too. How's the weather been? All right? It hasn't been too hot, or?
No, it's fucked. It's 115 degrees, dude. It's
oh my god. Yeah, I was like stressing over 105 degrees the other day. It's like poolside.
Yeah, it's miserable. I mean, that's hot for California, but it's miserable. It's changing soon. I think October it'll maybe break, but. Early morning walks, late night walks, we're chilling. And then biking is just kind of like a Sunday morning thing. Other than that, I am just living up. I'm just a fucking podcaster, dude.
gets you going though. It's good. You need to do it.
Gets the people going. Hey, before we stop recording, give me a big smile for the thumbnail.
I didn't know that's a good one. I'm sure there's a better one in there.
All right. That's good. All right. Later, guys.
Roland S. Howard.
Well, boys, thanks for coming this week. It's a great week to have a great week. Go get some stuff done and ride your bike. Or don't. It's okay. I haven't been riding that much. But life goes on. So hope you enjoyed that. I sure did. The actual filming of it. I feel like we got a little bit of momentum here, boys. So let's keep it up. Share the show with one person who doesn't know about the show and would be intrigued by Calvin Kosovich's life. That's. Can you do me that? Can you do me that one favor, man? All right, that's enough. Have a good day.